Nice. Welcome everybody to session. This time I
17
really
and a half.
17 and a half of
I have
Blood
no
and
idea.
Shackles. Nah, that's not true. Mihal, correct me.
I have it as 37. So
I have it also
probably one off.
37. Wait, no, I have it
Oh,
38.
one
I
off.
have it 38. Wait, yeah.
Wait,
Every
38.
single
So this
time
is
the
like your
same.
fourth. Yeah, 38, right, Jacko?
Wait, let me check now. Bye.
Good. 38. Last time.
Oh, it is 38.
Told you. Last time, the party continued their journey through the Valley of the Ghosts. After, already encountering some
So walk to the valley of the
esque
ghosts.
individuals. Motherfucking Valley of the Ghosts. But before going too long, it was wide enough to be a much large, like kind of real valley in the mountains where there was a river running through it and trees sporadically. During your days of walk, I believe it was, maybe 1 or 2 days after, who can say, your previous encounter, you notice a sign of some sort of movement near the river. And on following it back in the direction, you found a horrific sight, kind of a battle had happened in a dwarven camp. You saw some figures, 3 figures of dwarves, so unfortunately fallen in a battle to some sort of, probably you would imagine from the remnants you found, some ghostly attack. It did have seem like they were quite prepared, so it is also worrying that even with their level of preparation, they were still struck down.
There were 3? I thought you said it was just 2 the first time.
No, there were 3. There were 2 in the heavy armor, and then 1 who had the cool armor that was on Mythlif. That definitely was. There was like the items for 3 things that people took.
Okay.
Yeah.
George.
Yeah, George. Hey, Jack, what do you?
Because I'm saying we only grabbed 2 primary weapons, right? A dwarven
No, I think you grabbed 2 dwarven war axes. No, sorry, no, you grabbed a dwarven. Yeah, the 2 weapons and then the sickle, right? Was the 3rd one.
You're right.
Yeah. And this, yeah. And yes, unfortunately, you couldn't figure out exactly what they were doing there. You did find some sort of like notebook or journal, but unfortunately, written in Dwarven, which none of you are clever enough to understand. This strange, archaic language. And yes, you decided to give them some sort of a goodbye, but of course, you had problems, and the dead cannot be helped, unfortunately, at least not by you. So you continued on throughout the valley. Still, in some of the nights, Crixel in particular seemed to sometimes hear a strange rhythmic drumming echoing through the mountainside, but of course it was dismissed as merely a flight of fancy. Until you move further on and then encountered some more ghosts. A pirate captain who unfortunately was close to joining the crew, but struck down right when he, I'm sure, was going to turn over to the good side. But I'm sure he will regain sentience at some point, like all ghosts. And yeah, you defeated him and his pirate crew fairly well now, helped by your new items of anti-ghostliness. And yeah, camped on a bit further. The drums got louder. Oh wait, I needed some. I didn't get any drum music. I'm just stupid. Jacko, hit the drums. Wait, what? Jacko, where are the drums? I don't know any drums.
I had some.
There we go. Thank you. That took a while. Thank you. Someone hit the drums. I appreciate it.
Wait, can you not hear this?
There we go. Hitting the. What's that? We don't hear that, Jacko.
Oh, I'm smashing away on the desk.
The drums. Yes, and the following moment, you found the source after walking. Everyone in hearing range now. You found a very large Mwangi man, and standing. And kind of resting against the side of one of these mountains that form the walls of these cliffs. They carried 3 very large, kind of like decorated wooden drums with a little kind of like ghostly motif, like kind of made out of bone to like hold, the skin taut over the top of the drum. And these 3, and this like sort of old, like kind of flint tip spear that looks like very ancient, really. And yeah, he noticed you approaching and said a word of welcoming, just something. I can't remember the exact phrase he did before, I'm quite honest, but said something about like, good to see more living in this place. I think that is basically exactly where we ended, so we will take it from there as he kind of like, eyes you up and down.
Kind of eyeing the drums. Pointing at them. Look at the others. Not crazy. Not crazy.
Yep.
That is kind of you to say. I indeed am not crazy.
Those bros.
Still, it might be an
Perhaps
operation.
a little crazy still, yes.
What brings you travelers into this valley?
Um,
A dangerous
I'll-
place for those
I'll
not
turn-
prepared.
Towards Altair. You wanna?
We are looking for an acquaintance of ours, Morvesh.
You seem like kind of pondering for a second. The one with one arm.
Indeed, you've seen him.
I have met your friend.
And where is that?
In this valley, I do not leave.
And how long ago did you meet Mor?
You seem kind of say it's kind of like scratches, like or it doesn't sound kind of like rubs like his big chin. Like the days are sometimes hard to count for me. I would have thought maybe a month, 2.
Month or 2. Okay.
Huh.
But it is. He kind of shrugged. He seemed a likable fellow.
About our last information about his location. That was like 2 months ago or something, right? That we know where Morvesh was.
Oh, since the
I think a
Pathfinder
little
last
over
heard
a
from him?
month. If
Yeah,
I don't think it was
Yeah.
as long as 2 months. I think it was
Yeah.
maybe a little over.
Okay.
And it was on the other side of the mountains. So.
Yeah, it was a further witness.
So I guess the guy saw him.
On his way there.
Yeah.
Probably shortly after he
Okay.
kicked my ass.
No,
I mean,
much time
no.
has passed since
We
then.
had like
That's true.
half a year or something.
A long time.
That's right. I forget.
It's been very long, yeah. Well, for this 2 months ago, probably when you were traveling up into like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
river and stuff.
Okay, so it appears that we are on the right path. So
You are trying to find him.
Correct. He
yeah,
went missing about a month after you last saw him.
He was searching for something I had not heard. I do not know much outside this valley. But
Why are you here? Why do you not leave? This is a bad place.
kind of like tilts his head to what makes it bad.
I mean, the ghosts do seem a little aggressive.
That,
For my taste, personally.
He kind of nods. Like, that is indeed sad, and that is what I try to soothe. But it has become harder in recent time. If
What
you
is riling them up?
He kind of shakes his head. I am not sure. But there is something here which is doing something to them. It is known in this land. The dwarves of Cloudspire have also noticed during their travels. But I do all I can to keep them in peace.
Renegade, he's a human?
Yeah. He's like Mwangi. He
Very
looks like
large.
he's like native to
Right.
Mwangi, but he's definitely a human, yeah.
Yeah.
But he looks, yeah, I mean, he's very big, like, so he looks human, but I think I said he was something like, maybe like 9 feet tall, so he's like huge. Like, of course, like, you fight, but he looks humanoid, and he looks like, he does, like, giants obviously are like a different sort of bone structure and everything. He looks like a
Right.
very large person.
We hide away
Do we
our
know what
giant bones just in
Goliaths
case.
are?
You can
Or
give me
do
a
they
society
exist
check.
in Pathfinder?
You can give me a
Yeah, I don't
society check,
think
I'll let
so.
you know if they exist.
I think those are in D&D.
Yeah, that's where my brain goes.
Yeah, you can give me a check.
Society. Blind GM.
You've not heard of like a particular race called Goliath, like specifically. It's often something people might use to describe giant tribes of giants. Goliath would be just a synonym for like giant,
Sure.
but it isn't like there's different species like it is in different worlds.
Do I have any society? I don't think so. Society would still be the role to try and figure out what he is, right? Like, if there's anything,
Yeah,
that-
yeah.
if he's anything other than just human.
It would be that, yeah.
Are there any other? Is there any other gear on him besides the drums?
Loincloth, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean he's wearing he's wearing
Basic
clothing.
clothes.
yeah.
That's not what I mean.
He has like a
Is
pack.
there- is
He
there
has he has
weapon?
like a pack. He has this like very old looking spear which kind of resting against the side of like what's it called, the mountains. Like the
See, Cecilia, he should have done the one man band, routine.
yeah, I considered it. But sorry, did you roll society or Jack, or were you just asking?
No, I don't have society. I was just asking.
Ah,
I
okay.
think I'm the only one who even can.
Yeah, I mean, I can say with this role, we can kind of do the same when you see, Goliath, you kind of ask Goliath and you're kind of looking at him. There are, lots of forms of giants, of course, but they are normally much more, animalistic even in their appearance than this. He looks just like a very tall, human. Yeah, you would think, the most... I'm not even sure that the most similar giants would probably be hill giants, but they're even a bit bigger, and they are very known for being kind of they are much more kind of tough skin and just they seem almost a different species.
Right.
He looks like a human, just too big.
And sorry, and he's very tall. Is he also buff, wide?
He's buff would be strong, but he's big. He's hefty.
Yeah. Okay.
He probably probably weighs 400 fucking kilos or some shit. He's a big guy.
So he's like Obelix from Asteroid.
He's kind of a little not quite as bottom heavy, but more similar. Yeah, not a million miles away from Obelisk from Obelisk. Yeah.
If I can ask, in this dead valley, what do you hunt for food?
I do not hunt. I use magic.
Uncle Johnny, that's possible. Okay.
Every day we realize how much more limited Johnny's magic is.
I follow equally. I have been here long. I have learned to survive myself. But it is, like I said, in recent times, they are harder to soothe, and I would warn you to not spend long here.
Yeah, we noticed.
I have always helped guide travelers through, but now there are more I find who are beyond my help.
Can you tell us a bit more about the ghosts here? I mean, they gave the valley the name, but how it came to be? Do you know anything about it?
And she said, I have been here long, but not long enough to know the beginning.
Are they outsiders? Travelers as well?
There are, when some spirits leave this world, some find themselves drawn to this place. Have to be around others of their kind. You could say it has become a meeting place of sort for spirits who cannot move on, but still are not trapped so strongly to one. Many spirits lie where they die, but some are able to move slightly further. Something about this place allows them to subsist here, far from where they may have passed.
Never really considered it, but death, pretty scary.
Indeed, there are many here, especially when they come anew, that it is hard for me to calm.
Do you have companions or a nest, or are you alone?
A nest.
I am the only living. There are some among the ghosts who I have called companions.
And why do the ghosts congregate here?
It's like this, I not know. It happened before my time. I kind of looks, you can kind of tell that, yeah, I mean, he's not really trying to hide it, but he kind of falls mid-sentence, and maybe there's something more about why he first chose to come here that he just doesn't really feel comfortable saying.
Sure. That's what this is for. I was gonna request a favor or whatever that can't hurt me. I'm joking. I'm not gonna do that to him.
It's like, but your friend you speak of, I pointed him in a direction. I did not know where it was he spoke of searching, but I suggested speaking with the dwarves could help. They are the most knowledgeable of this region. If you are looking
And
to still
where would
follow-
we go to meet with the dwarves?
There is a road up to the top of Cloudspire, hidden amongst the mountain. That is where I suggest, if you wish, I could lead you to the entrance.
It would be greatly appreciated. You do seem to know your way around this place far better than we.
Like, if you were here long enough, the folks do not seem so sick. It's like, well, if you are ready, then we may go. It is not more than kind of eyes you in the armor, maybe a day or two much.
A day or two more. Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't eye me because I'm fucking fast. It's he looks at the guy in heavy.
Yeah, he looks at the guy in full plane. Is like, that'll slow you down a little bit. Like, he isn't. He does not wear armor. He wears like only kind of clothing. Like, you know, when he kind of move, like.
See, maybe I mean, I'm trying to put him like into a class, but that's the NPCs work. Like,
Look,
it could be like one of those the giant barbarian whatever thing that
Ooh,
your previous character was, right? Or you just had like that one.
He was have.
Yeah, you were a fighter with the.
I'm a
the
fighter, but
barbarian.
I played like a barbarian.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, so he does kind of like say, then follow me. And you see, as he goes, he does have kind of like a drum, so I can't remember if you remember before, that do kind of like almost strap to him. There was like kind of two in front and like one that almost like goes laid back either. And as he goes,
he's
he.
the one from what was the anime?
I don't know. Not on purpose. I don't know which
Seen
anime you're
like, seen like 5 animes. I don't know.
Demon Slayer. There's
Oh,
that
no,
one,
he-
the drum demon thing.
I have not based him off any drum demon, I will say.
The drum demon is from
Every
Dragon
time he
Ball.
hits it. Well, there's that too, but no. One in Demon Slayer where every time he hits it, it changes the direction of gravity in the room, basically.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That's super
Ah.
cool.
Oh,
Very, very
okay,
interesting.
all right, I'll give him that ability, no worries. But
It's
as,
a little
as
broken when there's not a room.
yeah, as he
But
Okay.
by the way, about removing curses. I mean, what's the like
Oh fuck yeah.
way to?
Oh, yeah, is one
I
of you
mean,
cursed? I forget.
Yeah, I got cursed.
yep.
It's
Oh.
not a problem.
I mean, do like druids can druids do that stuff in Pathfinder or?
And do
Oh,
it,
so-
Yeah, I don't think we know that immediately. Like as characters.
Do we
unless
technically
like,
know
roll
you're
for-
cursed?
Also,
I mean-
Wasn't there something about curses? Talked about something like that.
Cleanse affliction is how you normally go to curse. It's like from like an out
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, I got
Because we did something about that.
We knew you failed against a thing.
yeah, I
It made
mean,
me sick, but you
I
just
can't remember
are
anybody
forever.
even recall. Did someone recall knowledge on the ghost? I'm trying to
I don't think we
remember. I don't
did,
think so.
and that's why I'm wondering if we actually know you're.
I don't.
cursed
I
or
mean,
not.
like you know,
Yeah.
something has happened to him because, like
Right.
he's like him and I. Crystal, no, you.
Yeah,
you went
okay.
away,
Safe
right?
assumption for sure.
okay,
So you
so
didn't get cursed, right? You got a.
I mean, I got a failure on it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
but
you're
my
both.
crit failed. I
technically.
think.
That's.
I don't have the
Yeah,
effect
yes.
on me. Man.
I
Yeah, so I
somehow nat
can't
20
get-
that shit, so I didn't.
Better.
No, Jacko is also cursed. Yeah.
Oh, okay, like Jack is also.
So yeah, I mean, you two know, like, I mean, you've been walking now for like several hours after this happened. Did you, you still feel like uneasy and like feel like you're at sea and you have like, the water underneath you. Curse or like long-lasting magical effect is like kind of hard. They're like it could technically be either, could be like something else, but if you wanted to know any more, you could roll to see if this sounds like anything you're familiar with or something like that to try to figure out if this is like some sort of magic affecting you.
Interesting that you don't have a condition though.
What? Jacko, you should be second one.
I am second one. Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Doesn't-
I was looking at the wrong. I was looking at Johnny's character sheet. My bad.
You
I
look
thought I
at
clicked
Johnny's
pretty
sheet. Whoa.
Well, so like I went to the party, right? And if you click on their picture, it
Oh,
brings up
you
their
can go to the
character
party.
sheet, and I can
Oh.
see the conditions that are on them,
That's interesting.
which is pretty cool.
Pixel, you're an expert of curses, known as you are as a Tengu. You get told stories about curses all the
Mm.
time in your life. And,
Mhm.
this one Sounds familiar to something which happened also. Maybe you've been told about it by one of the other Tengu who have been on ships before in the earlier parts of their life. That it feels very similar to something you often described as a mariner's curse, where you kind of curse somebody with like the effects of like the roiling, unforgiving sea, and you always feel like you're above it, and you know that this curse would only be able to be removed by powerful magic, and also you know that if you're actually on water while effects like this, you would feel even worse. So you actually like even how you feel now is not as bad as it would be if you were like away from the shoreline.
So yeah, I'm assuming they like offhandedly mentioned something about it. I'm like thinking about it. We're in trouble. Big trouble.
Yeah. I mean, that's maybe we should ask our drummer friend.
Little drum boy.
I mean, he's been living here for a while and knows a lot about those ghosts, and he's mentioned his magic, right? So he might be able to help, possibly. So I'm not sure. I mean,
if he can, he will, right? Considering
it's
you
like-
are the captain of a ship, this curse would be terrible for us.
I mean, of course. I mean, you being cursed is not much better too. So the guy is still around, right?
Yeah, he's
Maybe-
kind of started. You're doing this like maybe like just a couple minutes chat. He's like kind of like he has started to do like a very kind of like low beat as he kind of walks, kind of absentmindedly, and you see the folk kind of like gives like a little bit more space to him as he like does the drumming. Like you have a little bit more like a sideline in front of you.
He's a mistweaver.
It's just like I read Mistborn like the last week, so I'm like Pog miss the effects of miss. Alright. Okay, so you so yeah. Go on.
Yeah. So friend,
He kind of turns. Yes.
we fought some of those ghosts, and apparently we have been cursed by one of them.
Apparently,
A common tool of their kind.
Do you know anything about those curses, or how could we get rid of it?
Who was it you said? A pirate ghost.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard tale of the curse of the marine.
Out of interest, can you describe this ghost? What they look like?
Very cool. No, aggressive. Large crew. Looking for gold, treasure. I'm gonna go to Nate for more information.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I met him in life. I don't really remember.
Dave.
Did he have a beard or a goatee? He had a. Yeah, it wasn't like a day ago, so it's quite easy. But do Recall just in case you didn't.
It's like
just in case you're like, you give me like an in check, just in case you're like completely.
How do you do an in check?
You first int modifier.
Oh.
No, that's not being in this game. I rolled d20 and like manually added. Who was this from? Jack, are you?
Yeah.
Jack, are you pretty sure he was clean shaven? What you saw of him? I don't know who rolled the other one.
Of who? Sorry? Who are you remembering about?
The pirate.
The pirates you were fighting. And that was you, Nate, for the second one?
Yeah.
You think he had quite a neatly trimmed
Why does it
beard?
matter?
The big guy was asking.
Probably. There's apparently many or multiple.
Alright, I guess I'll roll a d22 then, because...
Yeah, you also.
How do I do a blind GM roll d20?
You have to just the drop down at the bottom, like where it says public. You can like click that and change it.
Right. There we go. Okay, blind GM.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. You also see quite like a nicely trimmed beard. It's some of the Crick sort of thinks he was clean shaven. Crick maybe a beard looks clean shaven. He's used to fur.
Yeah, no feathers whatsoever.
Completely clean, must have plucked them. Yeah, I'm guessing you shed him, and he's like, that must be old Captain Ironsides. He is quite.
Oh my God!
Didn't he yell his name too?
No, he didn't yell his name. He just he yelled at the crew, but no, they didn't. He had his Like he is a, he is hard to soothe, but I'm sorry you had to deal with him. But
I noticed.
I know what he can do to Tengu or a man.
Yeah.
Let me have a look at you. Kind of gestured you to come forward with like a big hand, big meaty hand.
Shuffle forward.
Yeah, me too.
He kind of, shakes you a little bit. It's like, how does this feel? Can you feel the seeds beneath you, Royal? He's like really like, he seems like when he moves you, he doesn't seem taking very much effort. I mean, you'll feel light, Trixel, but still,
Mhm.
he's clearly like, he isn't just big or fat.
Makes me feel homesick. Or just sick, maybe.
Okay, let me have a go. And you, he kind of like does like almost. I mean, he starts to like prepare magic, but the way he casts it is using the drums. So he kind of almost like changes the rhythm slightly. He kind of like absentmindedly, like while touching one hand, like be like kind of beating the rhythm, like just like drums kind of do it like very easy, like without very much movement in the hand, right? They kind of keep like a beat. Kind of quickens it like fast, and like what's that? He says it out.
Oh, sorry, I was just thinking George still think he's a barbarian.
Oh, okay. And like as you like see him kind of beat up one hand, he's got the other hand on you. He starts like the drum beat. It like quickens and quickens and quickens, like almost like you can see like the kind of drums he has like almost like blurring in place with like the speed of it, and like there's like sort of like a visual manifestation of like an energy kind of like lifting off like the skin of the drum and kind of like he kind of coalesces into his other hand and like then passes and touches into you. And like almost instantaneously you feel like the music almost like kind of like steady like your body for a second, like you kind of feel your body vibrate for like a split second, and then you feel very good, like as sure on your feet as you ever have. He kind of looks at you,
Thank you.
looks down at you quite hard. You feel better now, yes?
Yes, like a freshly hatched chicken.
I've not known many of your kind, but I hope that is a good thing. And he kind of, he turns, and it was just you or any of your others felt the touch of the ocean.
Me also.
And gestures you over as well.
I come closer.
Yeah, he repeats the process. For him, like, I mean, to remove like a curse, it is not that easy. And normally like, you have to like counteract, and it's quite, quite difficult. For him, he does seem to be able to do it quite without much of like, sweat forming on his brow, so to say. As he like, quite quickly does a new rhythm and also cleanses you. And in a matter of like, just a few seconds, you also feel a lot better around it.
Oh, that I feel so much better now.
I'm
Thank
glad.
you, friend.
If I cannot soothe the ghost, at least I can help those who fall ill to that touch.
Yeah, we are very grateful for this.
Oh, back where we're from, a town called Old Salt Reef, we have a yearly feast, bonfire, and everything. Your music would be appreciated if you ever
Kind of like
are done
like a
here.
big kind of like deep chuckle, that sounds like coming from very far away. And he's like, "It would be nice if I find myself out of the valley. I will seek it out."
Can I get a sense of like how old he is?
Yeah, give me a perception check as you just kind of like try like it's always society just like kind of looking at it.
Oh, I'm rolling a second, so +1.
No, it's Paul, no longer second. Yes, you would think from his like his physical look and like like how the state the body is in, you would think maybe like late 30s, early 40. But just something about like the way he speaks, you also get a sense that like he seems older than that to you.
Okay. But I mean, I'm like 20 years old, right? Every 40-year-old sounds ancient.
To like 40, fucking ancient. Yeah. I mean, he looks like he's like in good condition for 40, but like his body is like starting to have like wrinkles and like he isn't a young man anymore.
Cool.
Eventually, as he like does, he like continues walking and like kind of shakes his head. It's like, I hope I can solve that one soon. But with this place as it is, I have. Let's hope. Kind of sighs a bit, and as he like keeps walking, he also like turns and says, "Oh, I forgot. I wish to ask a." He looks again like he's really struggling to like think of time, like perhaps 2 weeks maybe ago. I met other living in this valley, a group of dwarves who asked me for knowledge. They were searching for something. They had also heard of the restlessness of the land and were trying to take a more active approach. Did you see such on your travel? Such individuals?
Mm.
Everyone's just like,
I guess I'll.
you kind of
Yes.
feel like, you had none of you been quiet before, so you're looking a little bit amused. Ah, you met them. Had they already left the valley?
In a way.
We found their bodies. They were no longer living.
Kind of nods sadly. It's like, it is sad to hear, but I admit in some ways I am not surprised. I warned them of the danger of fighting against this place.
Yeah. From the spacious pouch, I pull out the waterproof journal and say, "We did pick this up, and you'd hope to maybe return it to their people."
Sure, they will be
Oh,
pleased that you have done so.
is that a thing, or was it something else? Because I think the waterproof journal was like.
Sorry, not waterproof. The
Oh, yeah.
dwarven journal.
Yeah, it will, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good. Yeah. He kind of
That
knows, like, they will be happy to hear that, I am sure.
The waterproof journal is yours,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, mine.
The ships.
Ours.
It's the cruise.
It's yours. You are the captain. So
You are the captain.
I mean, we found that, right? And it has. I think that's the thing that we found in like when fighting some mod thingies.
I thought the
know.
waterproof journal. Well, you did find a journal then as well, but you also have a waterproof journal you write the ship's log on. I don't know which one you're referring to. But yes, you found a journal. But I think the journal you're using is like named something like Earth Wizard Journal in somebody's inventory, I seem to remember. I think Jacko has it or something. Yeah, you have something like that, Jacko?
No, that was the one I was carrying.
That was on you again. Oh, but is that what you mean when you say waterproof journal then, or no?
Yeah. That was.
Okay.
I think it was some mate, right? That was
Yeah,
searching
exactly.
for a portal or.
Yes,
something
exactly. Searching for a
that-
portal to the Earth of
Yeah.
plane of Earth, yeah.
So the waterproof.
No,
journal
but you
has
showed
not
him the
outlawed
dwarven journal,
Yeah.
and he says yes. I'm sure they will be happy to see that you bring back at least something of this, and the tidings, however sad, will be good for them to hear.
They seem so well prepared. How would they be so surprised?
Kind of frowns. He's like, the dwarves have to take this passage more than others kind. They are from the mountains and are aware of the dangers, but as I mentioned, this valley has grown even more deadly of late, and I believe they were sent to, at least what they told me, was they were sent to try to find a cause. And shakes his head, like, I have not done so, and I told them that they were
Unless
willing to keep searching.
they wanted to join the ghosts here. Do you think that possible?
He kind of considered it for a second. He's like, I cannot say. I did not see what you saw, but if they wish to join the ghosts here, there is no surefire way. You do not know if your spirit will stay after until it is time. I am not aware of anything that can be done to make it a guarantee. It is possible to try to, through some magics, make it easier for you to stay behind, but it is not something I have experience it myself. But I think perhaps I will follow you up to the city. I need to discuss with them, even though I have not left it valley for a while. If this does not come to a conclusion soon, there will be trouble for them.
Would the valley be in trouble without you? Drumming?
For other travelers passing through here, it will be a larger risk, and the ghosts will become more and more restless every day I am not there. He kind of shakes his head. He's like, I do not wish to leave it, but I need to ensure that something is done to this place. That the dwarves know.
Are there many travelers here? I would be surprised if they were. I mean, apart from the dwarves.
Kind of shakes his head. There is the dwarves make up the majority, and you do have hermits of a kind, Mwangi members who. He kind of looks like a little. Like he's pausing, like not quite say it. This valley is known in our lands. When somebody loses somebody close to them, some make the pilgrimage here to see if they can speak with them a last time.
What was the name of the city of gold that someone told us about in the Mwangi?
Oh yeah, it's
What's
just my
going on?
knowledge here.
Oh man, let me see.
I admit my memory is not good enough either.
I'm just wondering because that was like kind of
Mizali,
there's
right?
the thing about like they have like a recently risen king or something like that.
Mazali was the weird town with the child emperor that was risen.
Oh yes, that's
Yes,
Mizali.
that's the one.
But is that the one you're thinking about? Or that wasn't
okay.
the gold
Yes,
city.
it wasn't.
Was
Yeah.
the gold?
Okay.
No, the gold city was deep in the screaming jungle, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gold. I just wrote Golden City.
Golden
Maybe
City.
See, I'm more wondering if there's a connection between this risen king prince city thing and this place, since they both
Okay.
seem to have significance to the Mwangi.
Yeah, that's.
But I can't remember that it was. You said it was.
got it.
Mizali was the one with the
Mizali.
strange kind of child emperor, yeah.
Yeah. Is there maybe any connection to is it Mazali?
He kind of like looks like he's like trying. Look, you kind of see his face like somebody trying to remember something maybe long ago.
Yeah.
And he's
We may not look at it, but we do travel quite a bit, and we were once traveling through the rivers in the Mwangi, and we were told about the grand city of Mazali, and they have a recently risen from the dead prince or ruler now. We didn't travel there, but the news is just the timing, right? If this is a somewhat more recent explosion of activity here amongst the undead.
he kind of thinks he's like, this city I have heard of it, but it is very far from here, to my knowledge. Perhaps it can impact it, but I do not know of any connection myself. But I cannot say it is not the truth. But he kind of goes on. This activity, I don't know how recent this individual came to take rule. I have seen the activity here. He's done much in the past. He kind of considers maybe the past year, but getting more and more to a fever pitch.
The person we are trying to find, Morvesh, the one you spoke to. You spoke of his reason being here. Did you speak of yours? He is a Pathfinder.
I mentioned it, yes, but I admit at this point it was not as bad as it was now, and I had hoped to be able to solve it by myself. He kind of looks a little like troubled again. He's like, these ghosts of these land are, they're, regardless what it may seem to like outsiders, they did not start or even are always evil creatures. pulling a. I was hesitant to tell that this place was getting perhaps outside my control. If it does, I fear that there may be more work done to eliminate what they can. And I would rather let them rest in peace.
Mhm. If you do not know the reason, do you perhaps know if these, whatever is causing it, if it is close, if it is in the valley itself?
He kind of nods slowly, like, I believe at least that it must be. It is hard, I think. It is not, of course, an outside world, but this valley, while not have physical walls, there is something here that binds these spirits, and I cannot think of anything outside that would be able to disturb them so in here.
Troubling.
Kinda. He's like, I am not sure. Perhaps the dwarves will be able to tell us more. They were watching over this valley before I was here. Not as active, but for longer.
I'd
Should be
imagine
there.
it was filled with ghosts before, right? I mean, have you noticed any changes in the ghost population? I mean, are they more numerous than they were in the past?
Done a census?
Kind of shakes head. He's like, I do not believe they are all numerous. Just those that are here are less willing to lie sleeping. Yeah, he kind of shakes his head and he's like, I am sorry I am not more help, but despite my time in this valley, I focused my work on less about discovering why, more just about trying to help those that can.
No worries.
He nods.
We are thankful for all that you've done for us and for others.
I am glad I can help those who I find. And yeah, he kind of, no, maybe he feels like, he's, not necessarily too much, but at least, feels kind of like, really done the conversation, kind of picks up the drum beat slightly and like the volume, and, you have even more space kind of to walk in front. And yeah, he continues to, to lead you, further through the, what's it called? Through the valley. And yeah, of course, if you wish to speak with him more, he is very willing, but otherwise he is happy to kind of just like, you see like, at certain points in the day, you do see like some ghosts, like kind of in the outskirts. Probably how you previously saw someone kind of higher up, like on the mountainside, right? Who kind of like watching during the fight, and you see he kind of like acknowledges them, and like maybe like occasionally changes like the beat slightly on the drums, and you do see sometimes like some sort of like magical effect happen from it, but it's not really distinct, enough to be like maybe some sort of, you would consider like a proper spell, but there's some sort of like a enchantment going on, or perhaps something to do with the drum itself, or him, you're unsure.
Mm-hmm.
But he is clearly seemed to like have some sort of effect on the creatures. And, yeah.
Composition, perhaps.
And then at the after a few hours, it starts to get dark, and he kind of says, "We shall rest here for the night." He says that you should fear less while you are near me. I do not believe unless they arouse more than I even worry they are, that we should have fear tonight.
We made good progress. This area typhus feel like that is weighing on me.
It will give you strong shoulders. He kind of like looks down at you. Like, we are close. I believe early in the morning we will begin to see the path. And you can see now, like, especially with him like helping you forward, a little like the mount of Cloudspire is like kind of rising before you, like in the near distance.
Okay.
It's like, but be prepared for kind of travels some uphill. You are sailors, yes. I imagine you've not done much climbing in your life.
I mean, sailors do climb. At least
Ah,
some.
A very different type of climbing.
Yes, so I do
For
not
being
mean
honest.
climbing with the hands. He kind of chuckles. I mean climbing the altitude. The hair will get thinner than you think.
Oh. Yeah.
He
It's
kind of
in
like
my-
slaps you on the shoulder like
We'll
a
be
big
airsick
meaty hand.
lowlanders.
You will be fine, I'm sure.
It's in my history. My kind come from the mountains. We'll be fine, I'm sure.
Good.
I would have assumed disguise, but okay.
And
Easier. That's right.
no, it's fine. See, he
And
kind of sets up a nice camp for the night, and yeah, he like, it's interesting. Like, you don't see him like start to like make dinner for himself or anything. I don't know, like if you like eat rations or anything. He doesn't seem to like begin doing anything like that. But
yeah, I guess I'll still eat.
yeah, it's just something you might notice. He doesn't like he doesn't make a big deal out of it. He just does just something you might have noticed. Yeah, and then I'm guessing you still continue to have watch despite him.
Yeah, well, I am interested. Like he said, he uses magic to conjure food or whatever. So
You cut out Jackass face again?
I will be looking at his drumming and well, if there's any casting to see if he conjures food out of his drums. Suddenly, like a lunch
Sweet.
appears or something.
No, yeah, you pay attention, but he doesn't seem to conjure any actual food.
Okay.
And yeah, you start heading down for the night. As people start to get to sleep, he like if he's like taking the first watch, he hasn't really said, but he's like also like seems to not being prepared to sleep like straight away. And it's like other people like getting ready. He like changes like the drum rhythm slightly because he's kind of he like kind of absent-mindedly does a lot through the day, like not kind of the loud drumming you kind of heard being about the clip, but almost like just like someone like who might like like kind of tap their foot or something like this, right? He kind of does it just like in the quiet periods. And when people start getting ready for bed, he kind of like changes the rhythm slightly, and it's almost like it would be too much to call it a lullaby, but it is almost like soothing in a way to like also those of you like starting to rest, you feel like
Like
your
a
head's kind of
heartbeat.
like clear a little bit, exactly, just like and maybe like make you be a little bit like less scared and soothe you slightly in the night. And yeah, as he does, however, seem to be somewhat human, and he does. You see, some point whoever taking the first watch, he does kind of like pause to the drumming and start to rest. You see, he kind of like lays one of the drums like kind of on the side and use that like as a pillow with like a robe kind of put over it. And yeah, it almost, and those of you who want to watch on that, sometimes it almost looks like he's sleep drumming. He like kind of like lies on it. You know how you might put like your hand on the pillow. He just puts his fingers. And he like every so often like tapping like a very quiet sort of like beat with his fingers on the drum skin.
He's just addicted.
He's such an addict. And then yeah, the morning rises, and you get your days. Oh, I'll move the day.
By the way, I imagine we lose the sick and
Yes, that goes way so when the curse is listed. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. And yeah, as the day rises, he is up quite early. Is like he's looking fairly happy, and in a way he also says like it will be. I admit in some ways I am scared to leave the valley, but also it has been long. It would be nice to see it from above as well. Let's get that soon.
I think for this day, Johnny should carry conversation.
Johnny is so busy, like not doing nothing. Yeah, he starts leading you forward, and yeah, it is very early after only like a a couple of hours, you see like you were starting like make like go up a little bit, like, and you're kind of starting to leave the fog a little bit behind. It kind of is obviously a gradual process, and then you basically see this like very large kind of mountain like kind of forming in front of you. And as like you kind of see it and you're kind of out of the mist for like the first time, you can kind of get a sense from the man who you don't have like their name of or anything, kind of like feel, or he looks a little uncomfortable just like out without the fog kind of like caressing his skin, you know what I mean, like kind of like if you went down it you kind of just seemed a little on edge. He seems like the opposite now, he's out, but he still like points up towards the mountain. He says, do you see the path running through it? And can everyone give me a perception check, actually?
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, have a
Yeah. Fucking find the goddamn path.
Okay, Nate, you don't really see anything. You know, you just kind of shrug. It looks like a mountain, pretty like unclimbable to you. You kind of think. The rest of you, when he points it out, you do see it is well hidden. It kind of like you have to search like where he's pointing for a few seconds before you see it. But there's like kind of like a small kind of I don't know if it's large enough to call a road, but a small kind of path, kind of crisscrossing like up and like across like the mountains. Obviously it's like steep enough. It's still quite steep, but it's where it looks like you would be able to walk it or probably take like a horse up it if needed. And you see it kind of like you kind of don't see exactly where it starts, but you can kind of see it coming up all the way to like the start. And just to describe this mountain a little bit more, it's not exactly as it looks here on the map. It is kind of like this, but it's a bit more like less pointy at the top and a bit more almost like kind of bulbous looking actually. It is a bit more like kind of rounded at the top rather than this like really sharp peak. Yes. And he just says that is what we will take. It will be tiring but quick. And he pushes you on further. And you start to hike, and you quite quickly see him get twitchy. Like he starts almost like he was like kind of drumming relaxed, and he probably to like kind of keep himself occupied. He starts like almost to do the rhythm a little bit faster and faster without really realizing it, and he just seems like almost like someone going through like withdrawal from something. He seems like kind of be having trouble like leaving this place behind. And it actually does come quite quickly to like a kind of crescent at like about when you like stop for lunch and you start to have a break, and he kind of looks down upon the valley, and he actually kind of shakes his head, and he also sounds like a little like less confident. He's like, I apologize to you. I do not believe I can accompany you up there. I must return to the valley. This is not right for me.
Are you not glad to be away?
I thought perhaps, but now I am out. I do not feel quite right.
You do what feels best, bro.
Thank you. That is all we can do. You must let the dwarves know, however, that something must be done in the valley. I am not sure if I am the one to do it. I have a connection to this place. It is. I do not know. He kind of looks a little like kind of scared. And he says, if you travel this way again, listen out for my drums, and I will be happy to accompany you once more. He kind of like nods his head.
Bro. Don't stop drumming.
Do you know any of the dwarves in the town? Or maybe someone we could talk to that you are familiar with, that maybe our words will carry more weight with them.
Kind of like considers it for a second. Names out. Talk amongst yourselves for 1 minute. Let's see if there's one that I really do.
You watching the games, son? You watching the games?
No.
Was it?
I haven't watched.
LEC, you mean? Or
No.
I
I don't know. I
also
saw one post about the games and it caught my interest.
games?
The LAC,
Oh,
so
I
they were
mean-
happening.
nice.
Is it interesting? I don't know.
There was a pentakill by an Aurelian
There was a
Soul.
pentakill. What?
Pentakill.
the first game,
That feels illegal. What was the first game?
or I mean, I
I
watched
don't know. I just saw like that was the title of the post. I don't know.
most of the first game, but
I'll be throwing on
okay.
after.
WNCA, the Women's National Championship basketball game later.
Well, nobody watched that.
It used to kind of be the truth, yeah. But there's a couple recent teams and superstars who have kind of driven a lot of traffic towards watching it, and so like, I think the last big game between two teams was Iowa and UConn, drew in like 14.2 million viewers average.
Pretty
Which is
sick.
pretty wild.
Decent numbers.
Yep, so it's a championship game today.
He says he kind of shakes his head. And he's like, I do not know anyone in particular, but there is a group, an organization of their scholars and their sages known as the Celestial Fellowship. Those are the most learned of their kind. If anyone knows what is happening here, perhaps they know more.
And your message. Of course, we'll say trouble brewing in the valley. Spirits getting restless. But anything else? More specific? We should impart?
He kind of takes it that combined with perhaps the journal of those who died. Perhaps that will tell them more. And they were there for a reason. Hopefully, that was shared with the dwarves of Cloudspire.
They built their home pretty high up. Could we expect Ardith? Welcome?
And says they, at least I know, they are normally quite opening to those of Mwangi. You are outsiders, yes, but if you are courtiers, I believe you will find no harm there.
Are we?
Oh, by the way, we gave him the journal, right?
Okay, yeah, then he gives it back to you, actually.
Yeah.
That'd be awkward.
Just check. Yeah, he also seemed to, like, he kind of tried to read it, but he also probably mentioned at some point that he also didn't speak Dwarvish, unfortunately. And, yeah, he kind of itching to get away. He's like, we'll be seeing you. And he kind of quite quickly starts, like, walk back down towards the valley.
We waved back.
Nice. Big kind of you. Yeah,
Wow,
and you
really?
were left alone on this, mountain pass. Well,
So, what do you think about our drummer friend and his connection to the valley? It's a bit strange. Leaving the scary ghost spirit behind is seem to harm him.
I mean, people live in all sorts of ways, bro.
This seems.
This man wants to live in between spirits. That's his thing. Yeah. He doesn't seem to be doing anything bad.
Yeah, but it looked like a physical thing, almost.
Yes.
You know, maybe he was cursed to be.
Cannot be good
Yeah,
for you to
you
be
know?
here for so long.
Yeah, probably.
Don't
I
like
mean,
to think
when-
about
Probably true.
ghosts.
Yeah, maybe we should also ask the dwarves about it. Maybe there's a
Definitely
You
didn't
know,
seem,
I'm not-
dangerous. At least not to us.
yeah, of course, but maybe we can try to help him like he helped us.
Hmm.
If there's some some magic effect in him, something like that.
Well, I will not say he doesn't deserve help, but this thing, I don't know how we can. Seems beyond what we
Hmm.
deal with.
Yeah, but it might be connected, right? I mean, we don't know what Murvesh was investigating.
Um, not specifically, right? But they did mention a ziggurat, right? And
Hmm.
that it was definitely, at least according to the map, right? Like that we have for this area, the spot where he was last seen is still pretty far away.
Yeah, it's still
Okay, yeah,
pretty
that's
far away.
true, yeah.
Still like
So I
50
don't
something miles.
think
So likely not
He did
connected.
not think
anything
it was
to
related,
do with the Valley of
Yeah.
Ghosts. Yeah,
or he would have said yes.
correct.
But if we find bullets that can hurt ghosts, I would be more sure.
Hmm.
What if we find one that is from Old South Reef? A spirit we
Find
know.
one what? Oh, I mean,
That would be weird.
unlikely, but because it.
Our graveyard is not tiny.
Right. No, I think you need to have passed or met some criteria within a certain range of this valley for your ghost to appear here. I don't think you could die like in Anthusis and suddenly your ghost would appear here.
Not that far.
Yeah.
Surely closer than those weird Westlers. They seemed
Maybe.
to come from a strange, faraway land.
Possibly, right? But they could have also been traveling through from Port Peril or somewhere else.
Hope you're right. Do not want that to happen.
Right, same. We've had enough ghosts for quite some time.
Hmm. I mean,
I think we
we are
need
like through the valley now, I guess.
Yeah, you were like through the valley now, and you're like
yeah,
starting
so
to
now
climb
we're
above
just
it.
climbing the climb.
Yeah,
Start
exactly. Yeah, you know you I guess you haven't considered why trying to climb it, but you're like huffing and puffing, so it isn't quite as smooth as saying it is quite steep. Obviously, like most you in very good shape, but you know, of course, it means you walk along without getting tired, but you can't walk internally without getting tired, right? So it is still hard work, but
So
you're
says
making
you
solid.
in the game rules.
So says everybody. But,
Yeah.
yeah. But you are making very good progress, and kind of like judging up is very hard, you know, especially for like mountains that lost kind of like full summits. But you think you could maybe like, you know, you're like obviously like, you know, high level characters who are walking way faster than people in, like the real world when they like climb mountains. You think you could potentially reach it like tonight, but it would be like that's certainly dark by the time you got there, and it would be like really
How
kind of
tall
pushing it.
is this mountain? that we're
Yeah, I know. I said like you get there today, and I'm like trying to figure out how high it would be and everything. It's you know an indeterminate height. It's you know it's did I say before
Can you
how
give us
high
a
it was? I
range?
think so, didn't I?
I mean, sure, I can look it up, but
I said
Who
before.
who could calculate such a thing?
It is maybe like a couple thousand meters, you know.
Oh yeah, I remember we compared it to Mount Everest at some point to see how big it was compared to that.
Yeah, it's like maybe it's like very high, but it's not like fucking Everest or some shit like that. You know, it's not like that. It's like you know a couple thousand meters, maybe like 2,000 to 3,000.
Mont Blanc.
But you know, you've also been climbing like a little bit in like the other days, right? So it's not like you're doing like all of it like right now.
I mean, a big
Yeah, but
difference
what's that?
between 2 and 3K.
Between
But
I think that's pretty high for me to climb. But
Yeah.
it is like you know, it's you know, it is like like a lot of maps, you know, like they seem like almost shorter than they are, but they're very like kind of big and sloping. This one is not that like big at the base, you know, it is like almost like stays like almost like a quite solid height up. It like obviously is smaller at the top, but it is quite bulbous, like I mentioned. But yeah, so like I said, so you think you probably could get it in today if you kind of like push it, but otherwise you'll need to probably get there tomorrow. Sometime in the
I think we
morning.
push it real good, right?
Yeah, who wants to do this? Okay.
I mean, the on the top, right? There's like a settlement, a town, a city.
Yeah, that's what you've been told, like the Dwarven city. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
Cloudspire.
how big is it? Do we have any like information?
You can rule society.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
See what you've heard of Cloudspire.
Yeah,
You know, you
well,
can say like if you were well, you did a little bit of research. If you were bad, you didn't fucking bother.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you did like a little bit of reading, like not too much, but like a little bit while you were like, you know, still in not also really in Port Pal when you first heard, but while you're making preparations to go. You know, you're not sure exactly how big, but you do know that it was known. It is like known as one of the few like sky citadels, which are like these kind of fabled dwarven cities, or like were built when they first like kind of came up through the underground to like settle on the surface. It's like a and you know, I'll say with the dwarf, you also know like enough about this about dwarves. Dwarves in Pathfinder 2, for those of you who aren't aware, were originally kind of from very far below, like, you know, in the Darklands, which is like, you know, the Underdark in 5e, and they had this big thing like thousands of years ago called the Quest for Sky, where they like, you know, basically dug straight up, what's it called? And they kind of, you know, looking for the sky, and eventually they found it. And then when they did, in kind of places, different groups of dwarves like made land. I guess I don't know. They built these like quite big cities called sky citadels, and they were
I'm
like the
guessing
first
they're
places.
usually on top of mountains and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Funnily enough, just because I love this lore and you know whatever, it's like a little funny thing. There's a story that because dwarves are so good at digging, that when they and because the Darklands is so big, when they first came to Surface Land, they thought it was another large cavern because caverns of tremendous size exist in the Darklands, and there was we were dwarves so good that they actually broke into the sky itself and broke into like and you know basically were digging up somehow past and into the sky and built like a sky citadel past you know like above our
Clouds.
level, yeah, in the clouds.
To the space station.
Yeah.
But yes, that's kind of.
Do I know anything else about
you
like
know.
the Dwarven tribes or the groups that live in this sky citadel?
Yeah, the MBK. Yeah, I'll use this. I didn't know like Eagle Survival Society is it any different?
I did roll. No, it's both plus 13.
Okay, cool. Do you know much about the MBK? You know, like I said, like the different sky citadels were like built where different like groups came up. You know, the Mbeke were the ones who basically came out in what we, you know, this area and then like kind of spread a little bit over Mbeke. You know. Oh wait, not actually. Ah, okay, sorry. So it's actually interesting. The story goes that the Mbeke dwarves were the one who dug through the sky itself.
Mm.
And the stories say that that they kind of you know realized their mistake when they went to planar air and they cautiously you know decided to you know they made a mistake and they went downwards and they retreated back to you know Galaria itself and got out of the plane of air. But you know that the stories say that Mbeke are still very kind of like closely tied to the plane of air, and they have like you know they're much more likely to have you know, people who, for instance, are versed in magic and then mist are much more likely to be in like the elemental in terms of air and stuff like that. In terms of like them as like a people and like their kind of culture, what's maybe the basic thing you would know? You know, like an expert. I'll say like one thing perhaps you have come up is that they have had some sort of conflict in the past between themselves and the Shackles. There was a series of battles in the past, known as Corsair Wars, where like the dwarven ships would be like attacked by pirates, and it like came to like a you know there were some like periods where it's like you know been raiding over years, and there was a part of time where there was like you know more like direct conflict known as Corsair Wars. But this was maybe around 50 years ago, and it has like quieted down since then. They have like you know been like still occasional raids, but it has calmed down.
So definitely, we're not pirates.
Yeah, you think they would be
Everyone?
fairly
Everyone agree?
anti-pirate. Yeah, yeah. You think that's probably a good thing to do.
Um, I think there's anything else I would ask about, but that's it.
Then yeah, you go up and spend this whole day going higher and higher and higher. And yeah, at the in the evening when it is kind of getting dark and you believe you are kind of hopefully getting close, we really hoping, you kind of see the path begin to kind of like level off slightly, and a kind of like a big gate or like kind of door like in the side of the mountain like ahead of this like here the road, like I mean it is a path, it is road, it's enough that you can probably take like a horse and a cart down it, but like not more than that, but it is like a proper like built up path. And you see at the end a large kind of door with like some kind of like fire, like kind of the coolest thing that like has the fire on the sconce, like with some sconces like on either side of the door. And yeah, you do see, I mean, already at the distance, you kind of like pressing around, you see a couple of like figures kind of like standing outside the door.
Okay.
It's about 9 p.m. at this time.
Then keep walking forward, right? Like not
Yeah,
hands on
yeah.
weapons, just
Exactly. Right. Yeah, you're just walking forward, and yeah, at a certain point, they kind of like notice you arriving. They kind of like stand up a bit more like straight. They do like kind of stay at their post, like waiting for you to get in like a earshot. When they get there, they go like, "Oh, am I gonna do a Scottish accent from Mwangi dwarves? Maybe it's all
Ooh,
dwarves."
gotta combine it.
Oh, fuck, the Scottish American accent. Oh, that's fucking hard.
Scottish Jamaican. Go for it.
Scottish. No, it's impossible. It's
luck.
impossible. They just say,
I would try, but
who goes there? No, what's Scottish? Scottish, maybe. Who goes there? They kind of lift up their. They also like kind of grab a torch from it. They kind of like lift it up. Wait, dwarves can see in the dark. They put the torch away. Who goes there?
Greetings. The name is
Hi.
Alter. This is our party, and we were traveling through the Valley of the Ghosts below, and we are hoping for a safe stay for the night, and maybe some information to help us find a missing friend.
They kind of like look through your eyes. We don't normally let people in the dark, but they kind of look about you. Kind of shrug. They're like, you seem like nice enough chaps. They kind of like knock on the door, like with like a special kind of knock. They didn't seem that concerned, like don't guard, but you imagine by looking at this in a place that really sees very much problems. And
Right.
they do like
And,
kind of knock.
what are
and
the
then-
five of us going to do against the entire,
Yeah, exactly. You're not like an army.
we can
approaching.
take.
And they they do like a kind of signal or something, and then the door starts to get like kind of pulled slowly open. It does look like a big heavy door.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't cause too much trouble though, and
None at all. Thank you.
good.
Thank you.
And yeah, you kind of head inside this like right now you're like so it's not just like a door, I mean you were for a bit like inside like the mountain, right? You are in it. You're not sure exactly the structure of citadels or like if they're all the same, but this part at least seems to be somewhat built like into the mountain itself. And there's like some other people on the other side who like doing a big contraption, and like one of them actually kind of like looks down at you and like, first time in Cloudspire. They kind of like give you an appraising eye.
Yes.
Yes.
That obvious, bro?
They kind of nod. I have not seen I've seen a couple of you. He kind of points to the Tengu. I've not seen any of you. He kind of points to you, Johnny.
We are
I've
kind of
only
rare,
seen
I
a
guess.
few of you.
All right. Well, you're about to see plenty more.
That's good.
He kind of says, if
It is.
you're, well, you wanting a place to stay? And he gives you an eye.
Yes, please.
So he kind of give you some simple directions. Like, I keep going down here, and it'll open up, and then it should be quite easy to see. It's near the entrance. To turn right around the junction and the shop. Not sorry, the shop. The inn, the name, the Open Aries.
Thank you.
I'd enjoy your stay. Gives you a smile, actually.
Thank you.
Okay, Tango can smile, but
So
What's
is everyone
that?
speaking just common, right? Or whatever.
Yeah, this was there was like a bit of dwarven you saw spoken between the others that they were like shut the door, but these ones are speaking common to you, yes.
Yeah.
And they seem like pretty good at it, yeah. And so you follow their directions, I'm imagining.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does kind of go like a little bit up as well as you kind of walking apart, and then eventually you kind of like open out. You do see some other like this seems like quite a quiet area, like but there is like a couple of buildings off the sides. You do see some kind of dwarves like walking out at some point. This is some probably some sort of like town guards. They kind of all seem to wear like similar clothing, but eventually you kind of open up and it's dark, so this art doesn't really work. But I will do it anyway, as you can now look at scenes, and I will make it live. As you see that they have built this town almost like inside the mountain top, as I will kind of show it to you here. It's not the clearest picture, but so they
It's
almost
good
like
enough.
yeah.
Cool.
So they have kind of carved open like this area, right? At some point in time, some dwarven masons like somehow managed to do this insane task where and then like like I said, it's almost this kind of like bulbous kind of mountain, and with these like roads leading to it, and like the entire mountain's always been like caught out with an apple, and it's like you kind of like go over, like kind of look down. Obviously, it's like it is dark, but it's like lights on the different levels, like they go down, and you can see it like going down like hundreds of like thousands of feet like down, like into the middle of this kind of cavern, like done out to it, and like carved into like the hollow sides is basically like where the city is actually built up. Like all the boulevards kind of like spiral downwards as you go through, and all like the different shops they have like the front, like in this like circle, and then like the actual shops proper like burrow into the side of the mountain. So it's quite a for those of you I imagine not seen like dwarven architecture before. It is like the idea like that masons could build something like this is a little like astounding.
I do not understand. The dwarves they built so high as they could, but they do not have wings. Why would they?
Maybe they can build the wings for themselves.
Think they can fly? With constructed machines?
Who
I
could
mean,
say? I've heard
should be possible,
stories.
right?
I've heard dwarves quite heavy.
Can
Must be hard.
Right. I think this is probably more something to do with when they arrived here. They built this as kind of both a symbol of them reaching the surface, right? In their search for sky, I believe is what they called it. And so this kind of stands as they've always been crafting, geniuses, masters. Yeah. But this is kind of that symbol of their two great things, their search for the sky and the inhabitants here, and then also their love of crafting. Combine the two, and this is what you get.
Like their prize. City is their achievement. I see.
Correct. I don't know how many places like this still exist.
I do not mind. It looks cleaner than Warbarrel and the like human cities.
I don't know if that is much of a compliment, but
Even of what is called the French nation to the south.
Sangor?
That's it. Yeah, Sangor.
Sangor,
Even
yeah.
Sangor. Bells. Like the walls came down upon you.
Did we stop in Sangor?
Yep.
Yes, shortly.
Oh,
We,
we had a day or like a single day brief stop there,
something
right,
like that,
before
yeah.
then picking up. Singapore, it was just to the west, right, in the sea is where we found the cook, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and he was from Sangor, but he was kicked out.
Yep, for pissing in the soup. Just quite the.
Yeah. By the way, how does this city compare to the I don't remember the name of the city that we
Or
no, the alchemy one, the
Alkenstar?
polluted
Oh,
one.
Alkenstar.
you mean like terms of size or?
Alkenstar
No.
is so fucking gigantic.
Yeah, but
Right.
like industry and stuff.
No,
I
I was
mean,
thinking Absalom. Sorry, Alcazar's so big, but
yeah, I mean, because Alcazar was like dirty and weird, and
Oh, so you mean stuff like that?
yeah, there
This
was
this
like
is
a lot of
much.
industry, right?
Yeah, this
Here,
is much. I mean, it probably still has a good amount of industry, but not like technical, not industry that like
yeah,
leads to like smoke and coal and burning fires,
yeah,
right? It probably still has like obviously really good like smiths and carpenters and obviously their furnaces, but there it clearly doesn't look like this pollution level is like it actually seems very clean from what you've seen. You know, don't
Yeah.
you know dwarves also like they are quite at least a lot of them are quite neat or like organized, I guess is the right way to say it. Like they have like they're quite organized, right? They like kind of order and like law and no rules as
because
well.
like Axio or Axiom or whatever, right, would be like their perfect spot.
Yeah, maybe that even
I
a
was
little
there,
too much for
and that
dwarves,
seemed
you know.
like
Even
hell.
that maybe a little too much even for dwarves, you know. Dwarves,
Okay,
you know,
gotcha.
yeah, dwarves aren't quite that bad.
That-
But they
that's a-
are
that is a
certainly
specific type of
they are
elf.
certainly more lawful. They're probably one of the most lawful of like the kind of common races that exist, right? If you compare like humans and elves and like they have like they do like a order.
Well,
So
there's
this
that
is
one type-
places it's like certainly clean, like the streets are tidy and like you know they're kind of like
Mm-hmm.
smooth. And the shops that you pass do like have nice shop fronts and you know stuff on display and everything. It is evening, so certainly you know it is quite quiet. You aren't seeing it like it's full, you know, majesty probably with like all the smiths hammers like banging out through the town, but it's still quite quite a good sight.
Nice.
And yeah, if you follow these directions that they give you around, yeah, you kind of like circle on these like large kind of central boulevards before you come to like this kind of inn, known as the open areas.
Well, how big are the doorways? It's very important.
They're like a little smaller than like a human one, right? So maybe like the doorways themselves are maybe like 5.5 feet tall, you know, kind of thing. So they're like, you know, still like, you know, bigger than like a dwarf, and like some humans can walk in easily, but others need to duck. But it's not like, you know, too difficult. It's like kind of almost when you go to look at like a really old house in Europe, you know, you're like, wow, they used to make fucking small doors, like you know what I mean.
So not full Shire. Got it.
Not full Shire. No. Dwarves also aren't as short in like you know Pathfinder, and you think also the Uncanny Dwarves and Becky are probably maybe they're also like maybe a little taller than dwarves who live more like you know constantly. In the
They actually get sunlight and stuff.
Exactly. They kind of open the air. They're not like just inside a mountain, like you know, really underground. They have a little bit more. Yeah. And yeah, I am guessing you go in.
you,
And yeah, it is bustling. The dwarves like their ale, and you know there is like people drinking there and everything. It looks like people having a nice time. You what's it called? You do see like certainly the majority are dwarves, but there is like you know a sizable minority who seem to be here. Like humans are like us. There's like a fairly common, but they are more of a like native Moangi than you are. You know, you are like most of you are you know from
Clearly
you
not
know,
Moangi.
You're more western, yeah, exactly. But they have you know. There's actually a few kind of like they like also like you know not everyone who's Moangi looks the same, right? There's like various tribes, but obviously you aren't familiar, but you see some who look like you know different to others. But yeah,
So
there's also
no
you
tribes that
do
we've
see,
met on for the list.
Yeah, I was gonna say any like the ones from
let me
the
see, which ones did you meet
waterfall
before?
area that we.
No,
Right,
actually,
that deal
you met Zenji before, who kind of once more in the jungle. These you see some who what's it called?
Or the other
Okay,
one,
but
like
maybe
the
these are
creepy cult
ones.
city.
Maybe these are ones that perhaps Nate has seen before. You know, there is a variety of like native Morangi, like a sub kind of I guess like a sub tribe or sub race or like a people. I don't know what the correct word is. Known as the Bonuat, who are like more of like the most commonly like encountered outside Morangi, but they're like more known as like seafaring. They're like ones most comfortable at sea, so they are ones most likely to make their way into the Shackles for some reason or another. And those you see seem to be the most common people who are like in at this time. You also see what's it called? Like I mean, the inn's like actually quite bustling. It's quite big. There is also a couple of elves. You know, like again the ones like in the native Turangi region. Some halflings and so on. So it is a mix, but they all do seem to probably be like people native to this area rather than like. So there is like certainly a look in your direction when you come in, as you like you fucking white asses, but There's isn't like, you know, people aren't like, what the fuck are you doing here? They just like, you know, kind of look your way, kind of, you know, and then just look back to the Devon party to continue their conversations.
Yeah, I think we'll try and get a
Go
table.
up to Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. The buttons are. Hey, hi. Can I get you?
Round of drinks, please.
He kind of nods and he's like, all right. See what I can muscle up. Let's see, one drink to get the round of drinks. Imagine going to a bar and be like, oh, the round of
Yeah.
drinks.
I'm sorry. We don't know. So whatever the you think would be best for a group of weary travelers.
The most expensive thing they have. Because they're
that one.
dwarves greedy in Pathfinder.
What's that? Say again?
Are dwarves greedy? in
Wow. I
Valeria?
mean,
Like the classic.
well, I don't know.
the
Yes,
dwarf.
dude. Oh, dwarves greedy in Pathfinder. I mean,
Are humans? I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah, but in a lot of
They've just got ambition, you know.
Like,
so what's
you
this?
know,
Odd dwarves? You don't think there's all kinds of dwarves? Oh wow, I see how it is.
Nate
Maybe
showing his boomer mentality.
yeah, maybe Nate thinks dwarves more greedy. We'll put it like that. I'm sure people say in the human villages the dwarves are greedier than humans, like for sure. I bet dwarves say fucking humans are ruder than dwarves. You know, it just goes both ways. But yeah, they you take a seat around and yeah, after just a couple of minutes, you get given. It's like a kind of like a spiced sort of like rum mixed fully watered down with like something. So it's got a little bit of a heat to it, but also like kind of warms you up. Because it is a little cold. You're like high up and it's like night, right? So
Right.
It's certainly a cold trek. And they kind of like place it down and just
Cost, by the way. Sorry.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was just.
We just forget.
It's pretty cheap. It's like a working drink people would have at the end of the day. It costs 5 copper a mug. They don't know your pitch, so it's like for the table it's like 2 silver.
I'll take that off my sheet.
Yeah, you kind of pop it to the silver. Like, all right, let me know if you want to eat dinner. You kind of strolls away.
Yeah, let's do it.
He's like perfect. And he's like, and then a second lady kind of takes brings out, you're not sure exactly what it is. Maybe some sort of like stew with some animal. It's hard to tell when it's in there, but it doesn't taste, like crazy. Probably something it's based on what you tried before. It's like simple, hearty food, but it's good and it goes well with the drink.
How much more is that?
That costs like 1 more silver. It's like very cheap.
Okay.
And yeah,
You were paying for us?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, you find yourself now in this bustling very different than the previous days before.
I'll be slowly sipping my drink. I'm a bit of a lightweight, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah. They do like do I have any non-crazy dwarven like in music?
I don't know.
Oh, whatever. Just a little background chat.
Just play the intro to Delicious in Dungeon. It's like the perfect.
I don't know.
Just look it up, man. Telling you.
But
Banger. Did we from our barbarian drummer friend?
Barbarian, come on.
Yeah, the barbarian. Ever get? And by bard, I mean like the character from Champion.
From League?
A little bit. I got a little bit of bard feel from him. Made you think about like the names of the dwarves?
No. So he said he couldn't give you any name, but he mentioned like this like organization of like the most like scholars known as like the Celestial Fellowship. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe like as we're getting some dinner, I just ask after that to like, oh, any idea where we could locate this group?
Yeah, you're just like talking, I guess, like the waitress, they take away your plates or something, right? And she's like, oh, all right, no problem with that. Celestial Fellowship, yes. Oh, were you apprentices? She kind of like looks at the group of you.
Not quite. We were traveling and came upon a few of their members, I believe, and we just have some news.
All right, I see. Well, they are. She kind of like orients herself, so she's kind of like pointing to the hollows above. It's like, well, right above us, the Aries. They're just on the opposite side of there, in one of the hollows in the upper levels. So circle around to the other side and try to find your way up. Should be a staircase or two.
Thank you.
And she smiles and like, oh yeah, finishes taking this plate away. Yeah, but
And
otherwise,
after a while, I'm guessing we ask for rooms for the night. And
yeah, exactly. The place is like also an end, so they like kind of as you like finish up, they kind of clear your drinks, and then they Yeah, I can give you a room key. Are you doing like individual rooms or what's the?
What's the cost? I guess that's
Yeah, I need to
the
look that up
question.
again.
The age-old question that will determine our answer.
These are kind of things like it should. Is I have like a DM fucking. Do I have like a DM thing?
Like a cheat sheet.
Cheat sheet. They should. I want a cheat sheet. I really need. Do you have like a cheat sheet, Jacob, for when people ask you? I don't need to look it up every time.
No, I do for the DCs, but not for prices.
No, price is like this, and you're like,
I used to back when I was doing 5e DMing because I just
Yeah,
had
I
like,
really
a Google
should.
sheet with like the regular pricing and stuff, and then like it's like, oh, it's a super inexpensive or expensive place, and
I really should.
you know, up
Lodging,
above,
here we
below
go.
that.
A bed like in the shared room would be a silver for the night. A private room for 2 would be 8 silver, and then a suite for 6 would be 10 gold.
Ooh.
Thank
So you
God.
said, how many can fit in a private room?
2. There's 2 beds, so you get 2
Okay.
private rooms, and it'd be like 1 gold, 6 silver.
Let's do that.
Okay, yeah. So I
Yeah.
give you a couple room keys and
1
like
gold,
point you up
6
the
silver.
stairs to it.
Is that you said right? 1 gold, 6 silver.
Yeah. So yes.
Remove coins. There we go.
A bunk with
And
Johnny.
then the one with Johnny.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, and then you have a nice sleep on like good beds. Not maybe as soft as you would want. Or maybe have like a little bit. They didn't have this affinity for rock, but there is cushions, so don't worry too much about it. You have a nice sleep
Oh,
where you don't
are
need to keep
the-
watch.
Are the beds carved out of stone?
The bed frames are, yeah. They do have like cushions over it. The bed frames
Oh,
are stone.
thank
Yes.
God.
I mean, are
Stone, they
pillars-
had a lot of stone out of here, They didn't have maybe it's hard to get wood up here, much easier to get stone up here. So yeah, it is like also like when you're eating like the cutlery and everything where you might have like a wooden spoon, right? Or something you should like eat stew with, they're like all made of stone and everything. Like kinda like well carved and everything. It's so it's good for you, you're lifting heavy weights all the time. But
Also,
then, yeah, the morning sorry, go on.
in the evening, I'll say, Johnny, when climbing the mountain, I got an idea you might be interested in. You know, these
What's that, bro?
mountains, very. No, you're right, very far away from water, right? Hard to surf. But maybe. I mean, they're so high, there's so much snow. What if you put your board down on the snow and then went down the slope? Almost as if you were riding a wave.
Then snowboarding.
That doesn't sound right, bro. Nobody would ever do that.
Reminds me too much of when we invented
Crazy.
fries in a different campaign.
But you liked crazy. Sure, nobody has done it before.
I mean, that's possible. Water, yeah, on the sea, it's all flat. And then a wave comes. And it goes nice, right? But on a mountain, always a slope.
Remember, you take the slope and you do this, and now it's the same, right? So that's the idea.
So
Instead of using the waves as
but
the
like
movement,
what I'm trying
gravity
to
and
say,
momentum.
what I'm trying to say is, on the sea, you surf, you go back to the same wave, where the wave comes, you do the same thing. You just like kind of swim over, surf with it. But on a mountain, you go down the mountain, and you have to climb back up. That
Did not think of
that
the way
takes
back up.
so
It's-
much longer.
We'll have to
as-
invite some form
Unless-
of maybe rope thing to pull people back up.
that could
A
work.
pulley system. Yes.
Yes.
Your idea is pretty good if we quickly
here
need
in
to
the
get down the
Sky
mountain.
Citadel.
Oh, what do we call it?
I mean,
Aspen for
sure.
dwarves.
Dwarves have it already figured out.
That's why all these Mwangi guys are here. Just,
They're wearing their skiing outfits. You didn't see that?
catch the white powder, yeah.
Oh man. Cloudspire, best fucking ski town ever.
The Aspen of the Sky Citadel.
Aspen of the skies, exactly. Okay. So yeah, you discuss the final merits of the skiing before falling into a nice deep sleep where you do not need to wake up for watch. It must be so nice. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite get late in bed. It was a hard day working, so you'll sleep very soundly. But you are all awoken by like a loud ringing of a bell. Actually, like just like a couple of times. Like the first one
Cooper?
that wakes you up with is very loud, and then like the second one, ding again, and it kind of echoes loudly through everyone's rooms. So you'll
Must be breakfast time.
What is this? Ugh.
The food is ready,
feels,
I think.
around 8 a.m. Something like that.
Recall knowledge about, I guess,
Bells?
there's like a traditional thinking in Dwarven society about bells ringing earlier. It's like a dangerous signal or something.
Yeah, okay, give me a recall knowledge.
I mean, that's like what society, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
society. Yeah. All the dwarven questions go to society.
I want to figure out with the crafting how big this bell is.
Oh, big pixel. Big bell. A big bell. What's it called? Nate, you think it's certainly bells like this would be used in terms of danger or battle for sure. Like, bells have been used all through time to signal like events. It's very hard to tell just from this ringing because you're not used to it whether or not this is like a routine thing or like some sort of like emergency. It certainly could be both.
Okay, so Nate doesn't know.
Yeah, Nate doesn't know. I mean, for sure, you think dwarves would
Oh.
use bells to signal like danger, but they would also use it to signal time, like humans also do, right?
Mm.
But
It's all in the timbre, like how the bell is being.
This
rung.
one,
That's like
you don't
context.
hear. I mean, you wake up, you don't hear other people like shouting in the streets, right? But you would hear, and you think it was like a real emergency. You just hear.
I think
the
it's
bell.
more of like a consistent timing of like a dong dong,
Ding.
and
It only
versus like a gang.
yeah, sure. Yeah, but yeah, so I'm guessing you kind of ready yourself and make your way downstairs, and you find that people don't seem to be in a big panic. People seem to be sitting around eating breakfast, having some coffee or whatever the equivalent is, which I'm gonna say is coffee.
Just be cool, guys.
And,
Just be cool.
Exactly, they're like don't tell newbies at the beginning attacked.
Dwarves, they just drink beer in the morning.
It's coffee with whiskey in it.
Beer with caffeine? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Irish
It's
coffee.
a great
Dwarven
way.
coffee they call it.
So, it's the age old what's it, Jaegerbomb? That the one?
Exactly. Whiskey. That is Jaeger bomb for adults, not just like whiskey and coffee. Yeah. True.
Also,
You shouldn't say over too
Jaeger
long.
bomb for a kid, right?
So what? Say,
Or underage.
who's underage?
Jaegerbomb
Well,
was
I mean,
quite popular
Jaegerbomb.
with underage
Oh yeah,
drinkers.
sure.
Yeah, of course.
It
Well,
kind of depends on which.
It's kind of like breezers into Jaegerbombs into like actual drinks.
Forgot it. I think
Forget
okay.
about it. Forget about it.
Guess we can head out for the day. Maybe
Yeah,
grab
let's
some
get the day
Do we want to grab
started.
breakfast or?
Yeah, breakfast,
Screw
of
it.
course. Need breakfast.
Of course, breakfast.
We're doing breakfast.
Most
okay,
important
how much
meals
more
of
is
the
that?
day.
Or does breakfast like?
No,
Complimentary
breakfast isn't
continental
included. You
breakfast.
crazy. You
Oh,
crazy.
come on.
You
For private
crazy.
rooms?
It comes with the
Private
room,
rooms?
for sure.
No, you can take from the core section, but you want a nice hot meal, you have to pay for that. You get like the
That's
cereal
fair.
and milk for
We
free.
get cold
but...
stuff. Done.
What?
Yeah,
you get
no.
cold? That's crazy. Now that's crazy. You get
We had a
cold
great
stuff?
dinner, and I'm out of
Yeah.
money. So
That's
let's move on.
embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
You're out of money?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm joking.
Okay, so you get some cereal.
Your credit card
like,
declined, so.
you can only drink tap water, but you don't have any money.
Bounces.
Okay, and then you want to head out into the what's it called?
Yeah,
into the town. I
I think
imagine.
on our way, kind of, because we're basically having to go up and then around to the other side of the citadel, right?
Yeah, you think so? Yeah.
Find some armors or blacksmith stuff like that
Okay.
or shops to sell off all the extra gear we've picked up over the last couple weeks.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. We have some armor, right? For the...
Gear.
Although, would it be
The only little thing, like it's like this place is like a little difficult to find your way around if you're not like used to it because like things are on different levels, so you don't really see any like actual smithing or like armors on this level. You think it probably quite likely is like on a level below. Like you kind of see when you look down, like further below, you see more kind of like smiths and like forges like open to the air.
And that seems
But
like
you
a
can-
bad idea because, right, that's where the most pollution would be coming from. While having the lowest level where it instinctively would go.
They have like exhaust vests to take it like out the back of the mountain. So
Okay. Gotcha.
Big,
Um,
big
Get
level.
pipes that just shoot the smoke out the
Exactly,
sides of the mountain.
exactly.
By the way,
That explains why there's clouds around the mountain all the time. Yeah.
We know the real
Yeah.
cause of the valley, you know.
Cloudspire.
by the way,
What's
if
it? What's
you're,
it?
if you're fighting ghosts, right?
Yeah.
Would
As one
like
does,
their
yeah.
attack like cut you, right? So you'd bleed and stuff, or not?
With what, sorry?
If
Say again.
I'm fighting a ghost,
Yeah.
right, and the ghost strikes me with a sword or whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
am I bleeding? Things like that, or is just like a
I,
ghostly blade that
a lot of goats, like when they fight,
They
like
make
the
yeah.
weapons will like it will be kind of more like when they touch you like with it, it like just hurts like for like negative damage. It's less likely to leave like wounds like cuts and like and slab
Yeah.
wounds and stuff like that.
uh,
Yeah, you think they almost always like kind of like sapping your life force rather than like
Yeah, it's
specifically
like
you know,
attacking
punching
your
in.
soul directly.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay,
you
so
do-
the dwarven armor that we're carrying is not
It's like untouched.
bloody.
Yeah, it's untouched.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Because it would be a bit unseemly for us, like to try to sell.
The
Bloody
only
dwarven armor.
one, yeah, exactly. The only one I think that might have a bit is like the one, but someone's wearing it, right? The arachnid one, but that kind of dwarf
Yeah.
fell from like a cliff after
We weren't
getting
gonna sell
attacked.
that anyway. That seemed
No,
too
no,
cool.
that's fine. Yeah, that would need to be fixed a little bit. Yeah, but the others look fine. The only other thing I wanted to
Crystal's
mention,
wearing
as
that,
you, yeah, I think you're wearing. Oh, yeah, no, Jacko's wearing it. Yeah. Crystal. As you step outside, the one thing that maybe catch your eye, Crystal, is you maybe you're looking around and be like, I wonder where that bell sound came from. You see, kind of
Mhm.
suspended on a platform, like kind of actually in the dead hollow of like this kind of. There's not this like hollow in a big like echoing out. There's this like giant like brass bell, like, and it is big. I can show you like a little bit of art for it if you want. And it is maybe like 3 times the size of a dwarf. You guess it probably weighs you're like a crafter. You think it probably weighs close to like 40 tons or something probably.
What?
And yeah.
Guys, is there any reason we want a bell on our ship? This would be the place to learn how to craft one.
Why? Why would we want
want
the
a
bell?
bell, bro?
A ring for alarm.
I'm pretty sure that like talking in a normal voice, you can hear from one end of the ship to the other with the ships that we've had.
Okay. I
I
do not mean our current
you
one.
know, just whisper also.
So instead, we're just going to carry a bell around until we get the big ship.
No, learn how to make one until we get one.
Oh. So you want to come all the way to the Sky Citadel to take a class about forging a
also,
bell.
bells
That
tend
doesn't
to be
sound right,
pretty
bro.
heavy, and you know, on a ship you
I mean, we've done dumber
don't want
quests,
to
so
avoid that.
I
You know,
look at it.
avoid having
Made of
Every
shiny
extra
metal.
weight.
I'm more interested. Does that not look like a fucking dragon?
I guess.
You're a beast hunter. How are you less interested in the beast than the bell?
We've seen a dragon. Killed it. As
You
news.
saw one fairly small dragon. I remind you.
This one is smaller.
On the bell, it's the same size actually, but in
No.
context of the other things, I'm pretty sure that's it standing on the top of the mountain. So it's like a huge dragon.
I'm just
As you like talking about dragons, you kind of like you realize, you didn't really see much in like in the much in light, but quite a few like the motifs on like buildings around and on like the wall
Yeah.
stuff seem to be like having dragon motif.
Okay, yeah, catching a theme. Okay.
Yeah, and as you like think about you,
What
so you go-
kind of dragons do we know? Like, is there coloring of
Ooh.
it that would give it away? Or...
give me a.
I'm
there
guessing
is-
not.
there is not on this
metallic
spell.
dragons.
Not on this spell. There isn't something
Right.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Can I
dragons
try
have kind
to-
of changed as well recently, so it's like a little. Okay, sorry, Jackie, go on.
Oh, yeah. If we're investigating that, can I try nature? See if I can figure out
Yeah, you can try nature.
what kind of dragon generally.
Yeah, and you're looking at like
doesn't
the
look
other
this
motif
place.
as well around and like
Yeah. What other? You're gonna have me do a roll too.
Interestingly enough, as you like talking about this and you're looking around, you also like you kind of as you just came out, you kind of pointed over to where you like mentioned like that this was where like the Celestial Fellowship or whatever would be found. You realize that kind of like the level directly above you is kind of formed of these kind of like a giant kind of caverns that are like kind of like filling around, like almost like looking down upon like the rest of the city, and
Do they look like they would hold dragons?
yeah, like they
size-wise?
could.
Okay.
Crixil, it's quite hard to tell from this artistry. The dragon seems to be blue, like in some way, like almost like a light blue, but you unsure, like like for instance, like blue dragons are a certain kind, but like what you've heard of is they're like kind of bad. So you think it's like surprising that he's like wanting to represent
It's
him.
like the typical metallic dragon.
Well, Crixil thinks so.
Well, Crixel, right? Gotcha. So not that.
hey, now Crixil could be right.
It has happened.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, do we see them like in the act of doing their dragon breath or their
No, like the motif. I mean, there are a lot of motifs, but they're not like as they're not like covering
not breathing
everything.
fire or
No,
what you
nothing is.
typically
No.
assume of like a blue dragon, which is lightning, right?
Yeah, you don't see anything like that.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Log that away for a moment.
Yeah, and then you start to make your way, I guess, over the other side.
Well, if they did get to clouds at some point, must be a lot of dragons there. So maybe that was their first impression of the sky.
That or maybe just point up generally towards those caverns that are dragon sized and be like, or there might actually be dragons here.
I think.
Which, if there are, and they are that friendly to people here, we are going to meet one. Yes?
Oh, friendly dragons,
Going to need one.
I guess.
I mean, I don't. They're sentient beings, Crixel. I don't think you just own one.
Wait, I thought that's what you said. I thought you said we're going to need one.
We're going to talk to one.
Oh.
Or meet one, I guess is what I said, actually. Like, we're going to meet, right? Like, clearly.
Don't know much about dragons, but they usually hoard artifacts. Competition,
And that's... Okay, which is more interesting to you now? A dragon's hoard or the bell?
No, the bell. Bell could be anything.
Could make my own bell.
Yeah, that's the whole point. That's why fascination with the bell is surprising to me. Okay.
Okay, so then you what's it called? You travel around, I guess, like to the other side and try to like make your way up to where you were like told to head. Or
I think we would, but I would like to try to pawn some of the stuff we've got before we go to see.
Okay,
the
so you decide to
ancestral
like
group.
first we'll head down a little bit and like try to like go to some of the shopping. Yeah, sure, you can do that before. Do that. Yeah, I don't think we need to like RP it out entirely. Generally, people are they're kind of curious. There are a couple questions about like it is like kind of dwarven sized armor, so there are like a couple questions like, oh, how did you come across this? But it's like also like expensive, right? It's like I think like +1 armor, right? So it's like valuable stuff. So they're like, I mean, they're not like asking Q3. They're just kind of curious if like you were crafters yourself or like how are you just like merchants like trading or so on.
Yep.
Like,
No, you're correct. We're like traders. We're adventurers. So we find some here or there. We make trades for other people or other armor that we've used in the past. And just it's upgraded.
Yeah, they kind of go, sounds like interesting life. See a lot of stuff as they kind of like figure out how much it's worth, and they like they're willing to like armaments on for super easy, so they just straight up give you half the price without any problems.
Yeah. Okay.
Midway in the morning, maybe about like 10 a.m. Somewhere I guess like probably in the shops.
Like if you try to sell, I'm trying to know how to sell things on the character sheet.
There's like a button into it or not?
I thought so, but
if not, I guess just have to.
There's delete item, but I thought there was like a sell or something.
I know there's a buy, but I don't know if there's a sell.
Yeah.
But so anyway,
I guess can you do that? Can I move stuff to treasure and then
I don't
sell
think so.
treasure.
I don't think so.
Good luck.
No.
I don't think so, no.
No,
I think you just have to do it manually.
I was gonna try it. Nope. Yeah, you're right. You can't. Okay. Oh,
It's right.
God.
But yeah, as you're doing this and you're kind of doing this, some of the rest of you who aren't directly involved, maybe like just looking around, like out of interest, and you see, maybe at about like, maybe an hour to have you started, the fabled creature you have seen so much, you actually spy one of them in the air.
Hey,
Those of you who are like outside, like one of you actually see like this, not gigantic, but certainly a huge dragon just kind of like fly down. Like, yeah, you grab your gun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like, right now it's like, you're on like one of those, so it's like a couple hundred, like, 300 feet or something above. You see it kind of like circle around like the top of like the mountain before kind of like gliding into one of these like large caverns, which were like kind of nestled in like the top layer. You see like the rest of the crowd, like a couple like, look up as they like hear the flapping wings, but no one's like, they kind of just like immediately kind of like look down again and like continue up with their like, daily work.
Yeah,
It was kind of like
here's
light,
also-
it was kind of light blue.
I'll lower my gun. Okay.
You lower your gun. Yeah, you got a couple of like one of you were like, probably like, like maybe looking out, like, like kind of leaning over a banister or whatever around this like big circling, as you were kind of waiting for that to kind of be done. And you did get a couple like people like looking a little nervous in your direction. And like, but they like would have kind of walked quickly away as you did it. Like, they didn't like apprehend you or anything.
Might be some trauma there about our last experience. Almost dying.
I'm just gonna show you some artwork of kind of like what they look like. Maybe this one is like probably quite a big one, probably older than one you saw. But like this is kind of like the color of blue they are and everything.
That is very light blue.
Yeah, but otherwise you finish whatever shopping you want to do and everything like that. For those of you who are curious, this counts as a level 12 settlement. It's actually really quite high, but it's got a lot of trade throughout Mwangi, and it's like, the dwarves also are expert. There are a few things which maybe it's like less common to find here. It's like, suddenly maybe it doesn't have a common, but general like trade items and common items up to that level you can find, like maybe not straight away, but if you ask around and get a bit more knowledgeable about the city workings, you think you'll find a way to acquire certain items.
We
I
need
don't think we
money
have very much
first.
money, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, but we're so poor, look at all this cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get
Don't
there.
even tell us what's here.
Add to it.
But yeah, after a couple of hours of wheeling and dealing, you've sold all you rich, and
Yeah. I think I've sold everything. Is it anyone else? Did you guys sell anything? Because I just sold what I had in the spacious pouch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything like. I mean,
Same.
Ghost Bane stuff. I still have one of those. Do I want to sell this? I mean,
I have a striking dagger I could sell, I guess.
Might as well, right?
It is 50 gold. Okay.
No.
Why not?
Plus one striking's 100.
Yeah, so I got 50 gold.
Oh, I thought you said it was just a plus one.
No, plus one striking, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so 50.
yes. So after you finish that, do you want to head over to a place or anything else? In mind?
Is there anything that we want to try to buy? I mean, we do have a little bit now, right? I didn't have a lot of super expensive stuff that I sold, but I've got
I got 85 golds.
got
I mean, we have like
180.
600 gold altogether. So,
Yeah.
and
Not
we're
a
like
lot.
saving up for a new sheep and stuff. So,
I think if we're taking like a bit of a scenic route, I'll be on the lookout for like a firearm like store or shop or something like that. See if they have a dwarven variety. Just like out of interest, not particularly looking out for
just to
something.
see what there is.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it certainly isn't a very large like this, like it's not like there's many of them or anything like that. But you do see one shop as you're kind of like heading down the levels. It seems to have a couple of like things in like the window and like has like a like ammunition and stuff and like bags of powder that people can buy. But you think it's like the shop like looks a little smaller than the others around it, so you imagine it is less.
Okay. And other than that,
I want to stuff.
I have something I wanna like look out for and see, but we're gonna go to the celestial boys first.
Okay. So yeah, you head on over, back up and up and up and up until you get to like this level. And yeah, indeed, it seems like the one that will point out to you, maybe ask for another direction at one point, is kind of actually in one of these, kind of like on the same level, like as like these, like the areas, which you find out is the actual name for these caverns. So like the open areas, like the name of the areas, that's what they call the caverns surrounding the top level. And the Celestial Fellowship, you get told out, like actually operates out of like one of these kind of big caverns, which kind of like turn into like almost like a hole, like a large hole, like opposite to it. As you actually get up there and you kind of look over, you do see like on the other side of the mountain, like it is several hundred feet away. You can actually see in some of the caverns, like suddenly most are empty, but there is one or two that do have like kind of like curled up dragons, kind of like resting in there. You see one in particular has a very large dragon in it, and it's actually awake. It is almost like kind of like looking down, kind of like how cats look out a window, like when they're like looking at like the world passing down. This dragon's kind of doing the same thing. It kind of like looks down over the city below it. And yeah.
Do you think they are friends, or are the dragons in charge?
Oh, some kind of symbiotic relationship, bro.
Yeah, it does seem
Large
like
words.
no allies.
Yeah, well, what's the difference?
But one was, subservient to the other. Then we
Yeah,
probably see
relationship
more.
isn't necessarily subservient.
That's what I'm saying. I
Just
don't
live
think
in
it
harmony.
is. Right.
Yeah.
Because if they were subservient, I think the memorials would be a little bit different, showing the dragons, or if the dwarves were, the rulers over the dragons, then they may be riding them. I don't know.
Dwarves probably gave them the caves.
Possibly. Or
That's why.
they were already here, and they built around the caves.
I don't know what else dwarves could offer that dragons could think
Wow.
useful. Not for me, but for dragons.
Possibly. Again, we've only met the one, and he was a bit of a dick.
Bit of a dick. Yeah, in case you're curious, I just had this cool art I found when I was reading about this thing that's quite nice, which is the first time the Becky and the dragons kind of met. It's just kind of fun to see. You get like a sense of like the scale of like one of the dragons you can like see opposite you on like the other side of
Damn.
But is an
Yeah,
astral
nice.
rune new-ish?
Astral Rune. I've never heard of it, so I guess so.
Yeah.
It's a
an
thing?
8+.
Sounds pretty sick.
But basically, it functions like a ghost touch rune, only it also does 1d6 spirit damage. And
Oh, that
then
shit's new.
if you
That
attack
shit's
a
new.
possessed creature, you don't hurt the creature that is possessed,
Yeah, back from
and
the
the
inside.
What?
possessing creature has to do a save. It seems
That's
super
OP.
cool. Yeah.
Wait, but what's the difference? So it's just ghost touch, but better and more expensive?
Yep. Basically, yeah. So ghost touch, but additional damage dice even to normal creatures, right? As long as there's a spirit, you can do spirit damage to it. And then also for possessed creatures, there's the added bonus thing.
Yeah, that doesn't come up
Okay.
often, but if someone's possessed, it's so hard to fucking deal with it.
Yeah. It's unfortunately it's like the crit special, effect. So like on a crit
Okay.
against the creature possessing another creature, the possessing creature must succeed on a DC 26 will save.
I mean, that's still fine. Like, the rest of the party could be, like, holding them down, and binding them.
You just keep
Just hit
because
them.
again, you're not hurting the possessed creature, just the possessor during that time.
But even if you don't crit, you still don't do damage to the...
Yep. Basically, it's if
Okay.
used to attack a creature that's possessing another creature, this weapon deals no damage to the possessed creature,
Sure.
which is super cool. And then if you do get that and they fail, then they're unable to possess a creature for 1d4 rounds.
Pretty
Very useful.
Which, if it's a type of creature that can only exist for a limited time outside of a possessed creature, they could just die from that.
Well, if we are gonna find more ghosts, it could be something.
And I was thinking about it, but it's 425 gold. That would be like everything that we have.
Get a small loan, $1 million. Okay, and then so you see these creatures, this marvelous, imposing figure, but you make your way to this hall, which it seems quite busy, like kind of bustling with individuals inside. They do look like it is quite studious. You see a lot of people in like kind of robes and kind of carrying books and stuff like that. There isn't like really like a front desk or reception or anything like that. It seems kind of just like an open hall. And like you do see like side rooms and everything going off it. So it seems like quite a big, like the cavern sort of opens up into like the rest of the mountain.
Do we know Barbarian's name? I didn't write it down.
He never said a name.
This motherfucker.
Never asked.
He never asked. All a figment of your imagination.
He's not very easy to confuse.
Oh, that other ghost.
We can call him the little drummer boy. Not to confuse anyone.
Nice. Okay, yeah. Anybody speak Dwarvish? No, right?
We already went through this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting
That's why the Dwarven Journal does us no good, minus returning it right now.
We're right now just tourists getting made fun of in the local language.
Exactly right.
Yep.
Like, did you hear them ask for breakfast?
They actually use the breakfast bar.
Yeah, right. We haven't changed our cereal for years. The cheese used to be milk. Oh no.
Yeah. Pretty sure that was curdled. All right, let's go to these ancestral group people.
Yeah, you're there. It's like this.
Yeah, so there's no reception.
There's no reception.
So we kind of just have to like stop one.
Sure.
Stop someone. Okay, so you just like stop like
I'll stop someone with a very long beard if I can.
No, the dwarves do not have beards.
Did any of the
None
three
of them?
dwarves that passed that we saw have like distinguishing features? Like oh hey, it'd be a member of your group who has this tattoo, or like it doesn't seem there, or like they had this massive scar, or they had a handlebar mustache, or like something that would kind of stand out a little bit to describe them.
Yeah, sure. The only thing, like they all had like there's like I don't remember, I said like the clothing was kind of blue and quite colorful, and they were like kind of like headless scarves and everything. Like as you like walk around, you see the most of like the dwarves, like they most of them wear these, and they all kind of have their kind of like unique, maybe not unique, but like maybe even like type of family or whatever, like almost like in Scotland you have like tartans, right? There's like the family tartan. You think like those colors might mean something, and you remember that the one you saw. So
do the Abeke do like the dwarven ritual dagger things, right?
They also do have clan daggers, yeah.
Okay, clan daggers. Did they have any of those?
That's a good point. Yeah, they would have
on them in terms of for loot, but could we have?
Yeah, you're right. I honestly didn't really think about it when I also affect that. Yeah, they would have had clan daggers, like like almost just like for ritual, like just normal daggers, like they would like kind of keep like strapped to their leg or something, right? It's like just mind keeping. Okay. And yeah, they would have had that. I like that. That makes sense. I forgot.
Yeah, I'll just kind of not pull them out and be like, hey, but we're just unfortunately we have some bad news about. We came upon some of your members who had been attacked by ghosts through the valley, and we just wanted to be able to return some of their items.
Yeah, it looked like this one is like like at the beginning they seem like they're struggling a little bit with the column, but they like do seem to understand, and they say like, all right, let me go find someone better for you to talk to, and they kind of like stay right there.
The items? Are we returning their magical gear as well?
What? No, of course not.
Crazy.
We're returning the daggers and this journal. That's what we found.
By the way, do the dwarves here wear headbands?
Yes, they also wear headbands. Like not 100%. You do see other dwarves who are like actual like dwarves from not Morangi as well. like to the point like visiting different sky citadels. Like dwarves enjoy it. Some dwarves are also just adventurous, but by far the majority, yes. And yeah, that the person comes back after like a couple minutes. Somebody looks more like teacher, like maybe like more powerful, sort of like you see a lot of people are dressed like some sorts of like spell casters, and this person indeed kind of fits the bill well. As they come back, they have like a frown on their face, and like I was told you had something maybe someone of our kin.
Yes, apologies. We do not speak your tongue. But and I kind of from the bag pull out the daggers and the journal. Say, we were somewhat lost in making our way around through the Valley of the Ghosts, and came upon a small camp where it looks like some members of your esteemed group here had been set upon by ghosts, and unfortunately didn't make it out.
Hi. They kind of shake their like, no, say, that is indeed good tidings. And they kind of like hold their hands, like they take it from you, and they're like, I thank you for bringing this back to us. This is ill news, but at least we now know what happened to them. They kind of shake their heads sadly.
I apologize that we have to be such, bearers of such bad news. And we did not know any of your customs to give them a proper burial, but I did what I thought was best, at least, to hopefully put their spirits at ease.
Kind of nod sadly. I hope that place will let them. I thank you for this. They just kind of shake their head.
If it's not too much of a, I don't want to pry too much, but what were they doing out there? They seemed very well prepared. For traveling through the Valley of Ghosts, but
This is why it worries me more. They say you found him in such a way. Shake that I do not know if you knew much about the place, but we have to venture through there quite regularly, and our people have been attacked more and more in the recent months, and they kind of look like they're unsure, like exactly, like how much you're going to. Anyway, we thought we might have had a inkling or an idea of what we could at least investigate to see if we figure out if it was involved, but we gathered 3 of our finest warriors to see if they could put a stop to it, but looks like they were no match. Kind of shake their head sadly.
yes, we did run into. Seriously, never got his name, but a giant of a man with drums. I gotta look for sign of recognition.
Yeah, they kind of knocked him in the eye. He's a strange one. I know
Indeed.
the individual you speak.
Luckily, he did help 2 of our party members who had fallen, ill from running with some ghostly pirate.
Noble goal,
Uh,
protector of the valley.
yes, but
Yeah,
he mentioned something similar though about the unrest amongst the ghosts, getting worse and worse and harder for them to be, put to rest.
That would fit with what we've seen, but I would also be. It looked like we're unsure. A little wary of that one. I think they do me no harm, but they've lived there a long time, and our people have had, dealing with him, and he's courteous enough, but he is strange.
I did get that feel from him.
Strange does not mean wrong.
It didn't, but
I do not know much,
It
but he
doesn't-
seemed wise. That's great.
If he's worried, then I reckon he is wise. There's certainly a bit to worry about now.
Yes. One other thing, if I could ask one more question. I know he probably is not here, but I wonder if he stopped by. We have a friend of ours, a member of the Pathfinder Society named Borvesh, who was traveling around through the valley, and we're wondering if he potentially stopped here, or anyone's heard from him. Yeah, he's gone missing for about the last month or so.
Human, one arm, Koki.
They did you see like a flash recognition? He did ask you. He found the helix you. Are you also Pathfinders?
No, not officially. I think we have one member of our party who might want to join them one day, but as of now, we just friends of Morvesh.
Fellow adventurers then.
Aye.
He passed around it. He no, they kind of gesture like to a separate room. We have one of the libraries that can be found in the Morangi, and he was looking for notes or information about a location he was trying to find. I think we had some knowledge that could help him. But it was a dangerous place. We warned him of that.
Is it possible to show us what information he learned in the library?
You see the individual looks quite a bit thoughtful. They say, you traveled in this valley, yes. You did you fight some of these ghosts, these figures, these spirits?
Yes. We've had so far, two official, unfortunately, situations in which we could not avoid them and had to combat them.
Okay, they kind of nod and they say, like, I reckon we can help you find your friend, but perhaps he can help us as well. Like this, we sent our kin out. Like I said, first day we're investigating. There is a place we heard about in our notes, in our books, underneath the valley. If it is what they were sent out to find. If they failed and you can help instead, actually that would mean a lot to our people. They kind of shake that it's not us. It's not our kind to trade lives like this. We will tell you where he is and where he's gone, but I'd only ask it even if it's only on the way back. If you take a peek in, it would mean a lot for us.
We kind of look to the party. See
I
if
look
there's
to the
like a-
party.
I mean, we need to find more.
Right.
More
He has
rational.
gone missing for quite some time, but
Yeah.
I think we will do our best to help after we've been able to find war, if that is okay.
I mean, he's been unaccounted for a while, and people are
Not like
worried
him.
about him.
Understand. We will tell you what we know, and if you, on the way back, come and speak with us, we will tell you more about that valley, and we will see if you can help us as well.
We probably also want to, when we came back, make some preparations. While we did survive both times, our encounters with ghosts, I wouldn't say we're necessarily fully prepared to take on, something maybe more powerful or more dangerous.
Yeah, they know that at least the city has had time to prepare. Good to allow that to be happening. All right, very well. Let's see what we can find. And you kind of follow me as they lead your way towards a library. And they kind of start putting some stuff on, and they say we're in here. We kind of showed him what we had, and we let him keep to himself. I reckon we can figure out what he find. As you will see, by the way, as you're kind of walking around here, you see occasionally people kind of cats that you walk by other rooms where people practicing either studying or practicing as well. You can kind of see that there's also actually one a long hall which is full of archers who have targets set up one end and quite bows with of course dragon motif kind of in the frame at the top, kind of practicing their shooting. And you see that a lot of just from the sense of the magic happening, the magic seems to be focused on air, so kind of aeromancers, where there's a lot of you see people studying a lot of books, and you focus that as you go into the library, and as you walk past, you see maybe some of these arrows fly. They are almost you see some people like practicing kind of like firing towards the arrows in the opposite direction of the target, and like it almost like turns around in midair, as like almost guided by the wind.
I don't do anything.
You know, I don't do anything.
Do I know anything about what type of either magic or archery this is?
Give me a. Can either give me an Arcana check or maybe Arcana check's the best. Or if you have some sort of like, there's nothing like that fighting, right? Law archery would be perfect if you had that.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Okay, then probably. But you're not changing Arcana. You could also do. Let me see what you have. That you could do.
I got occultism or society are probably the only other.
Oh,
two.
you give me a sneaky little law assassin. This one maybe it's known amongst one of the most devious ways to get away with a crime about being in the way.
Lore assassin.
Jack, don't you worry about that.
Shush! No one heard that.
Okay, out there. Maybe you've heard of this kind of style of fighting.
Did I
because
do
it's certainly-
survival by accident again?
Oh, okay. No.
I did assassins. Correct.
You
Yeah,
did
they're all
the
the same.
right one. It's certainly this was not the intended purpose of this tradition, which is quite a traditional technique of like what they're doing, but it perhaps had found its way into some darker avenues around the world. You know that this is known as Gimfsir, which is I don't know if Gimfsir. I can type out
Spell that.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I will do it. It is a kind of a mystical tradition. Which is that involves infusing the wind into arrows so they fly true and like strike hard. And you know that like a master archer are the ones who they can literally like shoot around corners and like pierce steel plates. But even they say like novice isn't good enough. Even novice is like good enough to to like hit bullseyes like from across valleys. Like they are they are very ritualistic. This is again based on like having a close connection with cloud dragons. In Mbeke, a lot of like kind of air magic. And that in like the armies of the Mbeke, Ginsers like kind of form one of the backbones, as they are very like difficult to fight against. But, you see it's on like a training which is pretty devoted to this. But then they what's it called? They lead you to the library and you're looking through it, and they kind of get these several books of which you see detailing like an almost like the history of like the Cyclopean Empire in these lands, and they kind of like looking through like kind of ritualistic places. And we can kind of skip through it a little quickly, but they kind of like eventually find like a passage denoted to this place, the Temple of the Blood Moon. That's the word, right? Yes. That's you had heard Morbesh speak of before, or the Ravenous Moon, sorry. And it's in like game terms, this person like helps you look. Also, and they find out there, and they kind of point out like some notes about like the surroundings based on it, and they end up basically kind of narrowing down the location to where you think you have like a quite accurate area on the map. You think you would be able to find it in, and it would basically be kind of between. In fact, kind of like I'll make a little marking on the map for you. Which is the one that's the right marking, not select drawing, draw freehand. Like kind of nestled in between. Why can I not draw? What the fuck? Hello? There we go. And like nestled, like almost like that arrow pointing like between these three hills. It kind of makes notion of like, where like, the last mountains like passing behind in the west and everything like this. Do they think like, and then like the surrounding geometry of the hills around it. They point out that they think we reckon. From talking with him, he seemed to be fairly confident that this matched descriptions he'd heard before.
Yeah.
What he found
there. The Gimthur or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
is it in any way related to like Eldritch archery?
Yeah, it's certainly related. Like what other societies might call Eldritch archers, perhaps they would call this in a certain way. It certainly isn't exactly like the same. Like for instance, there is like very powerful like Eldritch archery techniques like do these similar things where you go around corners. How like maybe these archers would get that ability through the wind, others might get it through other like mid ways, but mechanically it would work very similar. Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I was like,
and indeed,
I feel like maybe Alterna previous life had some of these abilities.
Yeah, and it's like I could do this, and indeed, I mean, it's fairly like I can just say like out of game right for a second, like if you were to train here longer, it's probably kind of it would give you like access to Eldritch Archer if you like showed an interest, right? You could probably get access from the archetype in this place. Yeah, but after maybe an hour or so, like looking through the various notes, and like looking back to see if they could remember, like talking to other people who maybe spoken more previously, you kind of come to this conclusion that you think he's likely in this kind of series of the three mountains would be where he at least believed the temple could be found.
Elder Crusher might be the next best archetype for Altair.
Oh, you could 2 guys in a row about a charger. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the dwarf
Very
kind
different play
stands.
style than Brahma.
Yeah, that's true.
but-
That's true. The dwarf kind of like stands up and kind of
Okay.
starts putting back the rest of the books, and he's like, I hope that helps. I cannot be sure that's where it'll be found, but at least we're best overlooking.
And that has been incredibly helpful. Thank you.
Okay, well, good luck. He seemed like a nice enough chap.
We will be back.
Is there
I
a
hope so.
for those interested in the history of the city with dragons? Is there a tourist book or voucher or something we could?
They
Sure.
kind of chuckle a little bit, and they say, our collection is that's certainly the best library of arcane lore and those related to strange magical sites, such as what best you're looking for. For more general information about our people, the library in the lower levels of the city would do you well, and that is threefold.
I see. Also, are you familiar with the ritualistic beast gunning?
They sort of frown for a second.
Is there like a
Beast
dwarven
gunning.
department of tourism?
They
That
have
was
like
downstairs.
they have like a little bit of trouble. You think the way they're like saying it seems also like just a word in like maybe they would you kind of get to see maybe they would know the dwarven, but in common it's quite a unique word to like learn right in another language.
Okay, I'll try to explain a little bit like what is
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on.
okay.
You're trying to hunt creatures
Oh,
and
okay,
use
and then they
their
like
essence.
after the comments they kind of do not. I have heard of such practice. We are not experts in it ourselves, but we are not crafters. We are scholars and sages in at least this part of our city. But I have heard of it being performed by our kind.
Okay. But, we'll have to continue the search.
And nod, and then yeah, I must be getting back to me, Klaus, but I hope you find him. He seemed like a good enough chap.
Same.
Thank
You again for all of your assistance.
Very well, bro.
I'm gonna nod politely, and then I head back to one of the different rooms.
Yeah.
They do kind of like leave you like unaccompanied, so like you also like feel like you could look at what you want.
Start grabbing some books off the shelf.
Yeah, yeah.
Back, knocking out.
I mean,
all
they
in
are pricey.
Is it all in Dwarvish?
Not all, but 95% is in Dwarvish.
Yeah.
Got a little English accent, comment section.
Yeah, exactly. It is like
Medium small
air,
English.
air magic for dummies, like the international version, and all the others are like
It's too real, man. Too real.
too real.
Common 101, right?
Common. How to speak dwarfish?
Yeah. I'll be right back, by the
okay.
way.
Okay, so yeah, you it's now like early afternoon still.
Okay. Yeah.
I think we could be pretty happy with what we got here, right? I mean, it helps immensely with the location. It's just that,
Expect
It's
such clear
something-
directions.
yeah, still more has been missing for quite a while. So, I mean, did we get any information about the temple, except for, I mean, the likely location?
Okay, that's a good question. Yeah. So yes, there was like very brief. It wasn't much at all, but like it's like kind of spoken kind of not direct terms, but it basically says it was originally a temple that like was constructed during the Cyclopean. Is that how you would say it? I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
Cyclopean Empire. So, I'm not sure if you are familiar, any of you, I can't remember if we talked about it much in previous, but like a long time ago before the, what's it called? What did they call it? Starfall, right? Yeah. So before the Starfall hit Galarian and kind of the world was like, kind of it had a lot of damage and kind of like fractured anew in a way. This area is like kind of where the Shackles were, where like the Eye of Bendigo is, and then part into like the western side of the Marangi Expanse. This was like all kind of known as like the Golgani Empire, and they had much kind of there was a lot of magic that was tied to probably stuff which now people aren't so big fans of, like ritual sacrifice and so on, blah 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 blah.
Real
And
passe.
exactly right.
Mhm.
And these sort of like their temples were normally built in the form of ziggurats, and they were like all built kind of this area in this kind of way.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we've already had one run in with a Cyclopean temple, right?
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The first time we met Movesh, was it?
He was looking. No, first
He
he was
was
looking
looking
for
for
it
it,
the first time.
Oh,
But he was looking for it, and he was in the ruins of what he originally thought could have been, but wasn't. That was I think
Yeah.
what it
Oh,
was.
okay,
So he was
okay.
like
And then we
searching, and he
went
had
to a
found one, but
different. What was it,
exactly.
the
And
Hell
you went to
something
different
island?
Hell's Arches or Devil's Arches.
Yeah,
where
Hell
you would,
Harbor.
Hell
And
Harbor
the Devil's Arches. Yep,
Devil's
you're
Pearl
right.
Harbor is the city on the
on the Devil
Yeah.
Arches, where you
Yeah.
were finding money by doing the things which they wanted to make some sort of potion of. So long ago, insane. We
Yeah,
discovered that
we
we got a
found
while.
Cyclops.
No man almost died from
bones.
zombie rot.
Oh,
so-
I do remember that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so these temples, were kind of like these
Those
cigarettes, like
skeletal
where
heads.
their priests went on and where they performed all these kind of like, nasty rituals and everything. And one of the kind of few things says out the Temple of Ravenous in a book, it says like the name Ravenous Moon was to do, with it, that part is to do with the Golgani. They had their religion was like kind of sun and moon worship, and the sun was kind of like the night side, as you say. Like, of course, they weren't like completely evil, but they saw basically they need to order to like pray to the moon, and the moon is also what gave strength, and that was kind of the darker side. And the stories say the Temple of Ravenous Moon was made of like this white marble that was stained red by the sheer like number of blood sacrifices made there. It's kind of what the stories say. So it's
Lovely.
one of the most sort of dangerous. Not dangerous, but one of the ones that had the most danger associated with it. And it's also it does mention here that like there have been attempts to like find it or like explore it, but they have not had any like with people returning with any information.
We're level 9.
No, that's pretty high.
Pretty high, yeah. I feel pretty good about ourselves, yeah.
No, that's pretty high. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, I think we should, discuss if we want to make some more preparations, if we want to leave as soon as we can, towards Vesh, what we don't want to do with the Ghost Valley,
I think
vis-a-vis.
the Ghost Valley is on return, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough, yeah.
Hopefully
Straight
with
to
more
Morsh.
Vesh, very much alive and healthy. and
Straight
helpless.
to Morvesh.
More
Where's
of
the
Vesh.
Morvesh.
Just like leave today, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even lead today. Crazy.
Uh,
Okay, yes.
Find the guy. Wouldn't you?
No, it's very important. I agree. But yeah, so you leave. They when you like
I
ask
mean, we need to
around,
find the guy or his spot.
there is a like it is also like a similar. I mean, I would say like from your time here, you haven't spent long, but you like seen a little bit, right? There is clearly like a lot of activity in the city, like too much for it to just like all the people like traveling stuff to like especially the dwarves like the goods they make to like come down up and down like the path you sent. It's just something that also might have crossed your like mind, and maybe there is some sort of like dwarves are famous for like tunnels, and usually they are built like rigorously into this rock, so you wouldn't be surprised, especially Crixel was like a crafter. You see like the amount of work they do, and it kind of boggles your mind that they keep so comfortable with, like digging through the rock. But there is also like a way out, like on the east side of the road. It kind of goes down and kind of and it comes out like this kind of area, like in the cliffside.
okay.
Seems to you like one of the good options.
Yeah, and as we're like in the city for a while, do I see any hints of like, because in these smithies, like any, what do you call them, like gliders or like blades that could relate to what would be choppers or anything skyship related or anything like flight related?
Okay, that's a good question. That's a good question. Have you been like keeping an eye out for this? Yeah.
Yeah, I can roll some gather information if you want, or
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely. If you like actually been like asking about it for sure. Do that.
actually no, I don't have diplomacy. Please no.
I
You
do.
can still you can try. You can try,
But,
Jacko.
Okay, I can try. I can try.
No, if you're an interesting fellow, Tengu around here. Wow, you tried. Crazy.
There
Okay.
was an attempt.
No, I mean, I was kind of mean even making you like roll, to be honest, because like I mean, if you
Mm.
ask people friendly enough here that it's like you're having a room or anything specific like that.
Sure. Yeah.
When you like mention it's like where you're like kind of bursting the air, they yeah, there's like some people saying, not many people are brave enough to do it, but we have a couple of workshops that work making stuff of the like. And they kind of point you in direction if you're interested.
Okay. For what purpose?
Hmm?
Just for recreation, or?
Oh no! It's one of the fastest way down the mountain if you're in a rush. And also, our kind, they kind of found you. I'm not sure how much you know, but our kind of well burst through the clouds. We have allies in it, and we have made vehicles that let us be up there with them.
You can reach the clouds?
Why? Can you not? You have wings and all.
Ooh, you hit on a sore subject.
I do that like sad walk, just like walk away from this guy, just like
The Michael Cera in Arrested Development.
Yeah,
walk.
exactly. Yeah.
The classic.
Yeah.
The classic. Oh man. Okay, but you want to go see what
Maybe just from the entrance. I'll just like have a peek in to see
Okay.
what can find. What are
As you see, sort
What's
of
going
this
on in
one
there?
is almost actually just gonna peek in. It's gonna build quite close to like the outer like the outer of the wall. And you kind of see that it actually kind of like opens out behind it, so like the actual just open air. So it's
cool.
almost like kind of like a staging place as well. And you see a couple of different things. One which you might not immediately have thought of, and you actually see in like it's quite a big place. Is like a small, almost like hot air balloon kind of like setup, like as like an option. Others is what's it called? Yeah, similar to what you would imagine, a glider. Like there's quite a few of these actually. This is like a big thing, like once you kind of like really look inside. Which you're not sure how they work, but you're smart enough to kind of figure out the basics. The thing which
Yeah,
you
I think
might
gliders I would be most familiar with because they're like fake wings, I guess.
exactly.
And the whole
right,
air
yeah,
balloon
yeah.
concept is kind of like what the
That's
fuck?
fully fucked. Was like, how does that work? Like, how is air hot,
Yeah.
right? That's like a little confusing.
I
The
mean,
other thing which you also see some strange sort of like almost vehicles that look kind of just like chariots, but kind of almost shaped to be more like an aerodynamic.
Interesting. Okay. I'll kind of be looking for like a price list or anything like that, like a
like listed in the window.
that
Okay, yeah, they don't list the prices for like the
prices
really
sequels
fancy
in.
chariots or like the other
assortments or
thing,
something.
but the
yeah.
cut, sorry, not the cutters, the what am I saying? Sorry, I keep looking at wrong stuff. The gliders, they do have like a price, but maybe they're more common around the younger kind who are like more interested in this kind of thing and having fun. A glider costs 150 gold pieces.
that's for one person, I'd imagine.
One glider can fit one person. Yeah, it's kind of like you would only better have.
I don't think they make oh shit, what are the two-person bikes called?
Oh,
Tandem.
tandem
Yeah,
bicycle, but a tandem glider.
Tandem gliders.
Oh man, but you know that
I can do that in real life,
physically
right?
unsafe.
I think you
I mean, they
can.
might.
do
you
that.
can. I mean, you
Yeah.
can. I do have two people on a glide, but it's not like two glide behind each other. But no, these seem to only be big enough for like one person, like one pilot. But they look quite simple. Like you imagine they're quite easy to work. Like
Is
they
there a
just
rent
kinda, like,
option?
Rent to own.
Not
you buy it
man. I
on
guess
credit.
maybe there would be. Probably if I just said it was used for like recreation. Yeah, okay. There's a day rental for 15 gold.
Oof. Okay.
It does
Plus
say in
there's
big
a
letters,
safety
must be
deposit in
returned.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any
Deposit
damages
is-
will be paid for.
Yeah,
eventually.
exactly.
You probably put down the price for the whole thing, and you get everything. but
Probably,
50%.
right? Yeah. But otherwise, you can't just like
Yeah,
take
that
away
sounds-
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, yeah,
They-
like
they-
with
About
the jet ski.
the hot air balloon. I mean,
How-
that we could
you-
like travel all of us with that, right? I mean, it might be like
Hot air balloon is
reasonable.
1 pilot and 5 passengers. A hot air balloon is only 100 gold, actually. It's cheaper than a glider. I didn't make these rules, but it says it right here.
I mean,
Oh.
I'm not sure how fast.
There are rules for this?
The
Balloons
hot air
travel.
balloon, yeah, hot air balloon's like an item. I'm not just making this shit up. Yeah.
Huh.
But
Yeah, it sounds very unreliable.
How would you like
It'd be pretty
Yeah,
fun.
To be a different kind of captain, huh,
Oh.
Nate?
Well,
yeah, sounds interesting. That's why I'm asking.
The only hot air balloons are quite weather dependent. They are, you know, they very much know.
Yeah.
I don't know
We
that. That's
have,
fine. you
We
know,
have a
it's-
magical item that
That's
literally
true.
gives
You
us
do actually.
magical
It's
You
a,
do
wind.
actually.
yeah, it's a magical movement cloud.
Hot air balloon, yeah,
That's
yeah.
actually a fairly OP combo. If
The
you look
only
at it.
risk, I will say, you look at it from a battle perspective, Nate, as you're kind of peering the window. You look at like the material and you're like, man, that looks like it has hardness 0, and that's actually what it has in the rules. So you know, like,
Guys, that is.
Gotta say, bros. You know, my preference is
Mhm.
water, solid ground,
Wow,
literally
that's how
anything
mine-
else, air.
Hmm. You were not in heaven. Creepy.
Yeah, but I mean, here in the mountains, there aren't really rivers big enough for boats, and something like this could save us a lot of time. With,
Yes.
with
We
the
don't need to
cliffs
deal
and
with
so-
height and roads. But go straight line. I'm sure with our
Sometimes
knowledge
best-
together, we can
some-
figure out how to work it.
Sometimes it's best to take your time and arrive at your destination than,
Mm.
you know, go fast and
Yeah, but
burn.
could one earn archetype from this with this?
Good one.
Possibly, bro. But once we return back to the sea, I don't know what that's gonna be of use to you.
We just need a sky ship.
There's always a bit more, but you didn't see the whole lot of shop jacket. There might be a skyship back there.
If you guys get a sky ship and we bring it back to the normal seas, I would like a big length of rope. I'm just gonna be down on the water,
Oh,
gliding behind you.
That's not
Oh,
bad.
you mean like shark bait?
Sure.
Okay.
Rather than the victim of airship crash.
I think the
You
sky
don't
ship
see
is a
an
bit
airship.
big. Maybe
When
there's
you're airship,
is there
you see a flyer for airship like cruises, like kind of like ocean cruises for people wanting to visit more of the Morangi jungle. There's like a flyer like saying "See Morangi" with like some pictures of some happy people going onto like an airship.
okay? So they
The
have
tickets for this are
of the-
listed as being only 30 gold pieces, so like go on the airship at least. For
That's
that.
actually
the
a fucking
technology.
steal.
Did we sneak up on that and just like, you know, we
Commandeers.
would jump off anyways at some point, right?
Just
Jump
do the
off.
whole Indiana Jones scene, throw someone out the window. It's like, no ticket.
Oh man, we could actually go on the airship. Go on the airship. The airship, yeah, airships.
Then we just need to commandeer the airship,
Airship's
right?
pretty fast. 50 feet
Mhm.
flight. It's beat that fast. So
Yeah, that's actually really fast.
yeah.
Airships are
Also
really are
really
like
expensive.
end game. Like,
6,000 gold
outside of
pieces
magical
to buy, yeah.
teleportation travel, it's fucking OP. Airships are.
Airship's OP.
Okay.
So yeah, you're
all,
like you kind
all
of.
hands for air balloon. There's not many hands.
mean-
Okay.
There are
Nate's got a hand up. Crystal's got a
There's-
hand up, right?
Okay. 2-2.
In favor
I
of
mean-
what? Sorry.
Hot air
Air
balloon.
balloon.
there's no danger of crashing, right?
Only in the
Ridiculous
storm,
as
I
well.
think.
So we're talking about 100 gold. How many people can fit in an air balloon?
6 people.
I mean,
1 pilot, 5 passengers.
We do not know what state. More
Johnny
they'll be
Face
in.
is like the fuck. my hoodoo.
What if Morvesh cannot walk anymore? But we need to transport him.
That's what Nate's big strong arms are for.
Oh, so you-
But I see
Miles
what you
across
mean.
the
I mean,
mountains.
I'm trying to do the
have
math of like,
money.
what do we think the resale value of a hot air balloon is in Port Peril?
Oh,
Ooh, I mean,
it's
Port
gonna
Pebble,
be
quite a
a
novelty.
lot.
Like, a novelty in Port Pebble. Like, I mean,
Look, let's do it then, because we
let's
can
go
go
first.
from here. Hopefully, we can safely travel to this ziggurat, save him, and then go back to Port Peril, and we resell it there and use the proceeds towards the ship. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's now 3 of 4 in favor. Sorry, Johnny.
Johnny, we can
What?
maybe
what
buy
again?
like a fishbowl.
Air
for you and-
travel?
An airship, or not, I guess
Ship.
a hot air balloon. Balloon,
Yeah.
a balloon. Yeah, not the whole.
can
I'd love to
call
be
it
able to
an
buy the
airship.
airship, but that's a little out of our price range, I think.
Now, if I'm fully honest, I'd kind of rather cast fireball than fly in an airplane.
whoa.
Fireball would help, I think. It seems like they use hot
You're
air.
missing the point, Crixel.
That's how little he likes the air. That he breathes all the time.
I like air. I like air when it comes down to me when I'm standing on ground or swimming in water.
But you could, like, stand up there and, control the weather, right?
I can do that from down here.
Yeah,
From
but
up there, you might be able to see the ocean.
I can see the ocean.
bring the
Can we
ocean
see from
where
here?
I am.
Make it rain down.
Can you see the ocean from where you are?
I
Is that what
doubt
you
it.
asked? I don't
You know,
think so.
that's-
It's like
there's
80
no way.
miles.
Yeah.
That's even if I could see it from this far away. That's just even makes it even worse. I can
So-
see it, but I can't get to it. That's just
I know you
worse,
dislike
bro.
it, but this is a huge amount of time savings of us being able to safely get to Morvesh's last location,
Yeah,
and then to get back to Port Peril. I'm not saying we keep this as our long-term method of travel.
yeah, but what's the worst that could happen?
I'm sure.
Mm.
I'm sure
Let's
there's
not
some
go
like
down that train of thought, shall we?
there's
Let's
some
instead
parachute
focus on
systems
the benefits.
Actually, so separately.
not included. Okay.
There's a lot of
How ex-
benefits available to us.
How,
via
how
this hot
expensive
air
a
balloon.
parachute?
Yeah, it's just a question. Of something. I'm looking at my spells here.
Okay.
Hmm.
This spell, right?
Oh my God.
Does it have to be connected to any type of
say it needs to
surface?
be whole held at anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
If the spell was cast on solid ground, so I'd imagine
If
not really.
yeah, so you
right?
don't need to.
Yeah, you can cast this in the air. Yeah, you can just have a cyclone or a ton of water in the air. Yeah.
But if
Just
you
not sure if
will the
water
cyclones
goes down.
stay there? Oh yeah, does it start dropping? I don't-
It
No,
stays there. It stays there. I mean, how does the
Really?
water at the top of the
Yeah.
pillar not fall? Like, I mean,
Oh,
the
that's
water
a
at the
good
top
point.
isn't
That's
a
falling,
good
right?
point. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been suspended in air by magic. Yeah.
for that minute, he would. Yeah, okay, cool.
So you just have to time it to do it right before we hit the floor. If we come.
I don't know
Oh,
if falling works
that's
like
right.
that.
Body see the floor.
That's fucking tough.
Yeah.
So, but were you
Parachutes.
were you asking about what about like what parachute system? Is that what you
Yeah,
asked,
if it's a
Jacob?
satellite parachute or whatever, something like in case
Or
of
feather
emergency,
fall.
you know.
I need to check.
Yeah, so there's like they it's you've been outside it a while now, so you've had like a shopkeeper like I'm like come have a look inside. I will show you what we have. They kind of like let you
Wow.
in and they kind of show more what there is.
I mean, it's not,
Oh,
I mean,
there's like
it's not
talismans,
quite
right?
that
That's
long ago.
Okay,
I mean,
you know,
they go
bros,
outside.
I spent a few moments, thinking in my head, and you know what? I think we could be fine. I just need to
Exactly.
make sure to not cast all my spells.
Yeah.
Because I can do this.
Nice.
soft landing.
That does
That's
seem
very
pretty
nice, yeah.
nice.
Also, I see behind the counter these leaves. That. What does that say? It says you can pull the strap and you will receive the benefits of Featherfall. It's called a snap
Yeah,
leaf.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
you're about
don't
snap
trust these.
Yeah, snap leaf is,
machinations of
It's only 9 gold.
you know.
Yeah, pretty cheap, 9 gold. Like a little time when you would have fixed it.
I need
yeah.
to save. I need to save for a better staff of water. So you can have that.
Stop landing so cool.
And a second level invisibility spell?
Yeah, so you can drop in like a team seam deal.
Wow, that's
team
actually
seal
cool.
6.
That's actually
That is
cool.
so
What the hell?
cool.
Why
I'm
didn't we use that?
buying
Why didn't fucking we use
100%.
that in like Physics Campaign where we did like the fucking jumping out and shit into like land in the city?
Yeah,
Remember?
I just know it
I
exists.
mean, I just did the thing of like I literally jumped
Yeah,
off
you did.
off
What
the
about
side of
rest
the building 'cause I'm a
What about
fucking
the rest of
badass.
us, You know, that's what's so badass.
Hmm.
Yeah, so they have a version of
Legendary
athletes up there.
acrobatic
They also
ability.
have like if people were like less like in talisman, they also like schools of like feather force or gentle landing, whatever they call it now. So the person I'm worry very low risk of danger. If you fall, you just spewed one of these handy snap leaps, you'll be fine.
That is, yeah. I'm definitely buying one, by the way.
Oh yes, please take.
How much do they go?
Oh, just
9
9 gold
gold.
pieces. But if done with the purchase of a hot air balloon, 5 gold pieces per snap leap.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I mean,
You like
we
that?
weren't gonna buy one, but
Did that. Yeah.
Excellent. They kind of look.
So
They're a little
120 gold.
Yeah, it would be
total?
if you wanted 4. But I think Johnny said he didn't want 1. But I'm not sure. Up to you, Johnny. If
So
for
3
5
is
gold, how
115?
can you say no, Johnny, for 5 gold?
5 gold. I mean, 5 gold for even just the invisibility for a minute
That's true.
is kind of worth it.
Yeah,
It's
we
kind
can
of
do like
kind of crazy in a way.
Yeah,
right?
right.
Because,
I was thinking about that.
Yeah, wait, is that actually insane?
What is about
Because,
this
like,
legacy
how much
content
does
thing?
It does seem a little
By the way?
insane.
Because how much is a
a
school's
scroll of
invisibility cost,
invisibility?
right?
I think it's like 10.
oh, I will say the invisibility stops when you stop falling.
Until you stop falling.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
So you can
So, 'cause
fly.
otherwise,
That's-
like,
yeah.
that's so
Otherwise, just like
fucking
jump
broken.
5 foot, like you jump up and then you land and you're invisible
Yeah.
and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, that makes
Okay,
sense.
so it's only for the falling. Okay.
Yeah. So people can't
that's-
see you. Like,
That's the
falling or
workaround
whatever.
to not. Yeah.
That's a smart
Yeah.
workaround. Yeah.
Although theoretically that means, well, it's the stop falling, not just flying, because you could
Yeah, stop falling.
theoretically, if someone had the ability to cast like gaseous form or fly, then you can
Oh,
do both.
man. Then it gets really weird where it's like the triggers you begin to fall. So technically, I would say like you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
cast fly and then like
That's
fake
fair.
Still be
fall and you're not
falling,
Yeah.
yeah.
But anyway, so the person's like, oh, all right, now excellent. The hot air balloons, they're quite big. I don't know. Are you familiar with the operation, or do you need a crash course? This is actually a half. This is one of the few shops. It's actually a halfling, by the way, not a dwarf who's running it, or like maybe not running it, but he's talking to you now.
Yeah.
Like, it's very simple. You just kind of follow the wind, but the going up and the going down is the most complicated part. And once you're up there, you're floating around just like a balloon, because that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. We see.
Are you beholden to the currents,
Yes.
or can you steer?
What is the crash
you can-
survival percentage?
Well, with the snap leaf, it's very high.
Mm.
Without the snap leaf, significantly lower.
Depends on how early you crash, I imagine.
Yeah.
And from how high you fly too. I mean, we could
They
just
have
like.
both excellent points, yes. And I mean, you look like a sturdy bunch, maybe. You look like survive a small fall. So if it goes wrong during the liftoff, I would suggest if in the first few seconds you feel bad, jump off then and don't jump off later. But if you jump off before you get too high,
You get some
I'm
sort
sure you'll be
of
fine.
premonition.
No, don't be silly. I'm sure you'll be fine. It's very easy. And they like look, let me talk you through it. And they kind of like explain the basics. Like this is the fire source. There's like some nice alchemist fire using a
Okay.
fuel source. So it's perfectly fine. And then you just go up there, you follow the wind, make sure to keep it up. And when you want to go down, you just lower the flame. Simple as.
Mm.
And they say like, if you wish, we can set it out to take off from right outside. They kind of like gesture where it like opens up and you see almost like a dock or like a port, like built into the side of the mountain. And you can take off here. It'll probably be the easiest for you.
It's sorry, which direction is this like looking out into?
This one is kind of looking out to the south.
South. Okay. Is there a world on which you can like basically set off in any direction vaguely?
What's that? Yeah, like today the wind is like fairly calm, so it's like a little like you're not sure. Like you can like very. So I'm gonna say like the way it works is like you can kind of roughly change your direction, like because it would be useless otherwise, like as like a vehicle, right? It's just on days where it's like real wind, then you basically like are forced to go in that direction. But if there's none, I'll say it goes like the speed it says, and you're able to like use your currents well enough. That's what the check is for.
Cool.
So yeah, you think like today is calm enough that he's plenty calm today. You can be right away, and I think if you can even steer it a little if you get used to it quickly.
That would be useful. Yes.
So the way it works is like normally it has like a speed of like 20 feet, which is slow, with the wind. But if there is like a bad like wind and like the pilot loses control, then it goes up to 4 times that speed in whatever direction the wind is. So like if technically you just like hands off, let's go, you would then get to go like 4 times your speed in the direction that the wind is taking you. But that's a pretty risky way.
Just gotta roll the dice.
Up to 4 times the speed, actually. Sorry. So I guess it's how strong the wind is. So like 4 times would be on a strong day. But of course, you also do have your bag of the wind or whatever, which would be perfect for maneuvering around a hot air balloon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, meant to be.
Meant to be, exactly. When I gave you that, I was planning for this. Okay, then if you wanting to try out for a sail, they found a ballooning. Maybe you should know what that's called.
We can try.
I mean, our ship captain will have to decide, but yes, I think so.
Oh, I'll have to give you the safety instruction though. So don't worry, it's just something we really meant to do after that. Oh, okay. Then they kind of like point you through it, mate, and they say like, you will stand here and you'll hold this part. This controls the flame. Just keep an eye on it. Blah 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 blah. And as they say this, they like are starting to like heat up the air in the balloon in like this like large staging area that's like built in there. And as it fills up, you start to see it like they have it like kind of tied to the ground, so it starts like kind of become lighter and lighter until the basket is like a foot off into this like being tied there. And they kind of
do anyone pay for this, or do I need to take it from my sheet?
I haven't yet, no.
Okay.
We haven't bought it yet.
Wait.
Are we gonna just leave now?
I think so, right?
Mm.
Is there anything
Soon,
else to
at
do?
least, yes.
I'd rather be able to prepare myself for the potential fall.
You want to stay
Well, you can take it for a
have
test
to play.
drive now. Maybe just a couple of you, and the rest will stay behind. Just make sure you don't fly away. No hard feelings, and then we'll have it ready for you to buy in the morning.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So, any of you others want to try it out for a test while your friend stays behind?
Sure.
Okay. So anyone who wants to can like hop on with Nate, and Johnny, you can stay behind on good solid ground. While they go kill themselves.
Absolutely.
And as you set off, the dragon appears, burns it down, you fall to death. The snap leaves a fail. Tremendous. No.
Suddenly your final destination.
No, it gets blown up, and you get, you'll step into the basket gingerly. It is a little weird, probably the first time any of you like kind of not been on wheels, like solid ground or a ship. Crixel, it's amazing. Like your dreams are coming true. Oh.
I just
Then,
close my eyes and pretend.
The little shopkeeper is like, "All right, I'll detach you now. Have fun." And they let you off. And you just start to slowly rise a bit, and like you're like, "Oh, I better reduce the amount of heat so we don't go too high." Trying to wave goodbye for the final time as they go off into the space of the sky. Give me a hot air balloon. How it works is either piloting check or nature check, whichever one you want. The DC is 2 lower for piloting. So whichever one you want. It's quite easy. You don't have piloting. Oh, you have sailing.
Yeah.
Give me a nature
Can
check.
I try an 8? Or...
Yeah, you can aid.
Nate, you want to be in control of this, right?
I mean, that's like public, right?
Yeah, public.
It'll be funny if you just roll once again.
You have it. Is it open? Oh, I always sort of one. Ooh. That is a success on the. Oh, no, say anyway. So you have a +1 on your nature check.
Oh,
Looks a lot like
Imagine. No, that is actually a success. It is DC 18, I would say. It's quite easy to pilot a hot air balloon.
Oh my god.
So it starts going in the direction you want, Nate. It isn't fast. It is only like 20 feet, compared to a ship. It's a little slower. But it's a very I mean, I would be terrified. I'll tell you how you kind of feel. I would be terrified, like the first time in all I as you kind of like
Yeah.
going out away from the mountain. You're just kind of like in open space, thousands of feet up,
Yeah.
and you know
And
but it
thousands of
feels
feet up.
yeah, because it's 2,000, 3,000 meters, right? So thousands of feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but it's not like the mountain is not like a tower.
oh no, but I assumed you were like
you-
I mean you're going away from the mountain, or are you kind of not going too far? I kind of assumed you
I
were
mean,
good
we are
like
not
stuff.
going too far.
Oh, you're not going too far. Oh, I thought
I
you were
mean,
going
of course,
far.
it's a test flight doing this for the first time. We're
Okay,
not
okay. A
like
little, you're just turning.
possible.
I mean,
was
hot air
a
planes are not the
horizon.
most maneuverable, so you do go quite, you far from the mountainside before you kind of like start making gently
Yeah.
turn because it isn't like
Nate,
easiest.
could we go around the peak?
Hmm?
Circle.
Yeah, I guess
That'll be a
so.
good proof of concept, right? That we can maneuver the way
Yeah.
we want with this other magical item.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess I'll try
let's
with
make
the cloud
sure
as well.
we stay.
Okay, with the cloud,
Yeah.
it's pretty fast now. Now we're doing like 40 feet a second for a hot air balloon. That's fucking fast. Not seconds, like 40 feet
Start
a
like
second for action.
careening a little bit. Or...
Yeah, like you kind of like you feel like
Can
the
we, like,
G-force pull you back a
slow
little
down
bit,
a
you
bit?
know.
Can we like slow down a bit for just in
Can
case?
you? Can the wind? I mean, yeah, I'll say. Do you have to go
Can
in
we
max
just let
speed?
it
No,
out
his
a little
vehicles
bit
don't
at a
have to go
time.
in max speed. That's your speed. You don't have to go in max. Yeah, so you're like, like, like let out little bits of air, like,
Yeah.
as it like goes open, you know. And yeah, you like circle around quite gracefully. I mean, nature, it's your first time, but part of like the travel by whatever it just kind of feels graceful, but there's no sort of like turbulence or like waves like crash into you, so it feels like very smooth compared to what you'd be used to on a ship.
Cool.
And yeah, eventually you've kind of done a full circuit, and like you see like the landing now. You start to get a little worried about it. You kind of like see the space, and you like it isn't a big place like the stage area, and like the landing you're a little bit unsure about. And the halflingers, you kind of sit there with them and maybe like making small talk with Johnny.
Wait.
They also are like, maybe I should have told them a bit more about how they're gonna land that thing. But maybe
How
should be
high
fine.
are we from the?
Maybe.
Maybe I'll
How high would you
like-
like to be?
Not very high. I mean,
Above the
It's
platform thing you meant.
I mean,
land, yeah.
how fast are we like moving?
Oh, you could have slowed it
Oh.
down almost as like much as you want. So like it's going
Yeah.
quite slowly. Like it can't go to like a standstill. That's like kind of difficult. But maybe like
Yeah.
10 feet in action, so you're moving like fairly slowly through. It's like still not that easy land, but you see the halfling is kind of prepared, almost like a grappling hook to kind of like throw over it to kind of like hold you on place and kind of like steady it. And they they're like, okay, let's go as slow as you can. There's like a little
I
halfling
mean,
kind of like.
Do I need both my hands to pilot this thing? I mean,
No, one instance.
That's, 'cause I also have a grappling hook. I mean, like,
Okay. You can
I
have like
can, like-
double grappling hooks. You throw down as they throw up, and then one of
Yeah.
you will win. Perfect. Okay, yeah. I think it's fine. We don't need to roll. But so you're like a
Okay.
trained, fucking pilot, sailor, whatever. You're
Yeah.
good with the hooks. And yeah, the halfling seems fairly competent as well, as they like manage to throw it up. And it does catch on the side of like the basket, and like they really quickly, like kind of tie it to like a little like kind of hook or like a wooden kind of platform. And then they, as you slow down, then they can like gradually kind of pull you down towards it, and eventually you are just a couple feet above the deck when like they kind of let you hop. You can hop off, and halfling like, oh, how was it?
We're alive.
You looked
Yeah,
very competent. It looks good. I'm sure no crashes in your near future.
yeah. I mean, I had some nice help here from Crystal.
No, maybe it's,
So I
it's
mean,
nature, I guess.
the the feeling of the wind feels like a bit like a boat, just more calm, right?
The waves are
No
invisible,
way.
but there.
True, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the sky and the water are almost the same.
I mean, the water is much more
Cold.
dangerous, maybe
Hmm?
wild. You never know what to expect.
True, and you can't breathe it unlike the air.
Some can.
Oh, well, I can't. So, can you? I'm gonna frown a little. Aren't you human?
Johnny can, I think.
Yep.
Not sure how.
Easy as.
Alright, well, I guess maybe then the water's very much like the sky to you.
Water is better.
By
Am I
the
right?
way, I mean, does the guy have the airships or like available or like also?
Does he
The,
have airships available, you ask?
I mean, yeah, you mentioned the gliders and the
So gliders they have. Gliders
yeah,
they
yeah,
have.
yeah,
Uh,
something like slightly bigger, just like
slightly bigger airship. Or the okay for airships, like if you like ask, they say, "Oh, you mean to purchase a ticket?" Or they kind of found, or to buy.
at the
What
bar,
what
yeah.
did the cost be to buy an airship?
Oh, let me ask that before. Kind of frown and get to their goes like their little desk as they kind of look behind. Like, okay, the cost of production, making transport. Perhaps 600 platinum.
Okay.
Hmm.
So not today, but maybe later. We'll add to
Oh.
cart for later.
If you do, if you ask us about it, it
Our
will
wish
also take a
list.
little bit of construction time. I mean, they're not bespoke, but acquiring one does take a little bit of work. So just let me know.
Of course.
Uh,
And,
it
and
won't
the
be that
tickets?
soon. Don't worry about it. Don't wait on
Tickets,
us.
tickets much better. Where is there anywhere in particular you'd like to go? We have some wonderful airships in the line in our portfolio right now.
If you buy a ticket, you can
The
choose where
Voyage
to
of the
go.
Skies, the Jewel of the Skies. Then we have a few of the routes running back and forth between Morangi, between the Death of the Jungle.
Can you choose where to go yourself? Anywhere?
Chartering the airship, that is, I'm afraid, more expensive. Not as much as buying, but is more expensive. I believe it was chartering it for a single trip costs 100 gold per day of travel.
Hmm.
100 gold. I'm like, all right.
Not bad, not bad. For chartering a private jet is expensive. I was like, but you seem like good customers. Let me give you my card. And they kind of like look into it, desk, like pull out a card that says their name and like the shop like location and like the street and everything.
I'll give him a little like wooden carving back.
Oh, very, very, very foreign. They kind of put it in their pocket. Well, so you'll be ready to fly off in the morning? I should prepare it.
I looked at Johnny in the morning, right?
It'd be good, I guess.
Oh,
So now we
can you
go
tell
spend the
us-
night and get a romantic dinner with some dragons, right?
That's
Yeah,
what
we
you're
can
Can
meet,
you-
go meet
Try.
dragons, I guess.
Can you tell us a bit
Hmm?
more about the winds here? What should we be like careful about? Maybe
Oh, yes.
flying in these areas.
Do you have scientists that know the weather before it arrives?
Oh, indeed. Those or our kind, I'm not sure. Well, not our kind, but the kind that live here, the dwarves in Becky. They are very, very well versed in reading off the weather on the clouds. Normally, they have a weather forecast every morning, which you can go listen to at the Hall of the Weather Watchers.
Yes,
That
should
lets you know if it's good for the day.
do that.
I will say a lot of people who take these contraptions of one kind do have some magic themselves that they use to make sure you could say the weather is good for travel. But even if you don't have that, only the skies are fairly kind of maybe not clear, but safe. The cloud dragons don't really allow any other kind of creature to intrude on their territory. But they might be interested in you when they see you up there, but they won't mean any harm.
So, don't attack on sight.
They look a bit scared. Do not attack on sight. Do really strongly would recommend do not attack on sight. You will die. Do not attack on sight.
Do not attack at all, maybe.
Yes.
Even better. Listen to your captain. He was the captain, right? Do not attack at all. And if you do attack, I make sure I certainly told you not to attack.
Understood.
Good. Yes, but they might, they might be interested. They might fly with you a little bit for fun. They won't mean any harm out of it.
Did they ever speak to any of the people here?
Oh yes. I mean, I'm not to myself, but they are a value member of Inveke society. They are welcomed in. I mean, I don't think they go very often. They kind of found. I think they're always allowed into the Assembly of Kings whenever they want to go there. Yeah, they kind of nod. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, they and the Inveke have been together for, been working in partnership, I think, together for millennia, at least what they say.
That is a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even for dwarves. Okay, well, it was a pleasure helping you out today. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Can we choose the color of the balloon or no?
Oh,
They all come in
Yes.
standard white and blue, like stripes,
what's like
right?
it does
and
does
with
lift-
like dragon symbols on them.
That's like in the shape of a dragon as well. So it's like you. As
I mean,
if
I
you're
don't think
like.
you can get anything but like the most basic ass teardrop
Yeah.
shape.
Dragon. Let's relax with the dragon shaped one. I mean, let's relax.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
may
no,
be
Like a parade style
have
balloon.
name on it.
embroidered
If,
into
different.
the...
If you do want patterns, that I can probably make it work, but by tomorrow that will probably cost a bit of extra.
I think
If
it'll be
you-
fine.
Okay. You can always on the return journey, if you're coming back this way, you can, pop in.
Sure.
We can see if we want to make it any nicer.
Make an addition or something. Sure.
You can
Okay.
also
Okay, cool.
write stuff on it, right? Like looking for Murvash.
Oh,
With
yeah.
a phone number
Or
underneath,
you
like.
or you sell it the space for like advertising companies.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Like maybe a picture of more of us. Like, have you seen this man? And-
have you seen it? Like all blown up in the middle, right? Like really bad photocopy. Oh
Just
dear.
is.
Okay. So you leave the shop, and maybe this is, I guess, a pretty good ending point as you prepare
Yeah.
to leave in the morning. And of course, you can do other stuff into the city as well, and in the evening before you go, if you wish. All right.
Cool.
Good. All right.
Good to be back.
It's the hot air balloon. I didn't see the hot air balloon coming. Jacko, what's the hot air balloon? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
have
that
prepared
was
4 spells for safety.
Yeah, that's good.
so.
I'm
So
just-
you
I'm
didn't
just
foresee
worried.
this having a chance of happening before the session already, or?
So,
But once you're here, I mean, you gotta, right?
I did not even
Uh,
consider a aviation transport at all in my head.
Kind of offhandedly asked it after a conversation with Nate. Yeah.
I mean, no, like, okay, I guess they would. I mean, they have the cloud dragons, they're like all over the air magic. I guess it'd be pretty
Yeah,
good.
that's
That
cool.
kind of shit.
Sure.
Alright.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just worried.
Thanks,
'cause
guys.
I want the trick driver archetype.
Yeah.
And
So you I gotta do trick driver for airship.
Exactly.
Long-term goal.
It says you should be equally at home
I'm gonna
piloting
get-
any vehicle, Nate. So this is all you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
That's good.
Maybe I
variety.
should have like another
next
unlock condition
week?
for you. Oh, yes, it should work for me.
Think so? Yeah.
I need to make like another unlock condition for you, Nate, where either you do like a quest
Could I-
later, or you do like or you if you pilot like 5 different vehicles, then you get trick drive by default when you are piloting every vehicle.
Okay, so we're at 2 now, right? Or have we done
take
any?
it off.
I mean, every type of vehicle or different boats type. So
No, like no. But or maybe okay. You know what? I think it's actually fair when you want to quit. If you spend like not just like try it once, but if you actually spend like let's say like a week, like maybe not, a week seems fair, or like in charge of like a land vehicle, a sea vehicle, and an air vehicle, then I'll say you've experienced enough to be a trick driver, but you practiced all 3 of like the transportation types. If you do the hot air balloon, then you can then all you need to do is practice driving a land vehicle, and then you can get trick driver.
yes. So I guess
Land vehicle's
my-
the easiest. I mean,
Land
most
vehicle's
people do
pretty
the other way
my
around, I
next
think.
question is do they have bicycles in Cologne?
They do have bikes, but they actually do have. They call them velocipedes. They do exist in Galavia.
That's hilarious.
They
So
that
I
is
need a bicycle.
that it is.
Bicycles,
Bicycles are pretty cool.
bicycles.
Bicycles are pretty cool.
Nice
I mean,
pretty
does
car
it
thing.
count?
I don't know if there's any benefit of using a bicycle. I'm trying to look at it actually. The speed in a pilot, that doesn't make any fucking
Actually,
sense.
it's easier. You can go for longer or something.
It doesn't say shit.
Hmm.
The speed is a speed in a pilot, pedaled as road. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Alright, weird. But
So we're gonna-
I will say there's motorbikes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where? Here?
You know, you gotta look,
I
you know,
can
a little
start
harder.
expect to have something
Alkensaka
like
for
that.
sure, you know, maybe
Yeah.
it might be harder to get, but I'm sure, you know, if you put in the words, you can maybe get some.
Maybe-
There's actually a lot of
How-
vegan.
Actually, you know
Get
what?
some Vespa.
How are they fueled? Johnny's gonna have a big problem with this.
Arcane
Not
criticism.
fire, not
like
fire.
Fire!
powered
Not
machinery.
fire, I'm
I
sure.
mean, vehicles.
They
You're
might be
on
fire.
water.
Automated cycle, let's see. Cogs and gears, Pog.
Wait, they're
cogs and
fueled
gears.
by
The
cogs and
vehicle
gears?
comes equipped with 2 sidecars.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Automated cycle. So you do need to cycle a little bit, but it is clockwork, so it has to be like wound up. 10 minutes and you have 1 hour operation time.
It's just like that
Well, that's good
shitty-
returns, I guess.
That's pretty good.
Bicycle
If
with
they can
a-
do that in
bicycle
real
with a
life.
motorized with
Yeah.
an electric engine on it.
No, it's cogs. You just wind up the clockwork and off it goes. It's perfect, man. Automated cycle. There's actually a lot of cool like land-based vehicles actually. There's like some cool actually. It'd be fun to play like there's an archetype which is like fighting on top of a vehicle, right? I can't remember what it's called. I don't think it's
Oh yeah,
Drive. I think
I
there's
remember
like another
from
one.
1E. Yeah.
Something acrobatic.
What's that?
Sounds like something acrobatic fighting on double.
No, it's
Or not?
like how do you spell vehicle?
Mechanical
DE,
Cavalier.
What's it called? Trick?
HICR.
Is it Trick Driver? Maybe it is Trick Driver actually. Also, have you checked more on Trick Driver? Does it have like also like aggressive things you can do, Nate?
Yeah.
Oh, so it is, so if you get a motorbike, then you can actually like hurt people, you know.
I mean-
like
Motorbike busting, let's go.
And for that,
Yeah.
I mean, the big benefit of it is like I can use my DAX for the modifier, right?
yeah, okay, that's pretty good. And I mean, there's like others that make your speed like way faster and shit, right?
Yeah, I mean it has good stuff because problem is my int is low, so even sailing is kind of hard.
That's fair.
Because you're so
Yeah.
fucking
But
stupid.
you're gonna be such a fat sailor when you do this. Like it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Alright, anyway, I'm gonna head off. Good stuff,
Yeah.
everyone. I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks for saying.
Bye-bye.